Nice little Monday morning. Nice little start to the week here. Hope you guys had a good weekend. And I hope you're excited for a big old week of nerd venging, man. There's a lot to get into. And I will also say it's not clickbait. It is not clickbait. Big old changes. Big old changes coming. And I will explain it all. I will get into it all with you today, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do, how you guys doing, man? How was the weekend? Weekend was tough, man. Not gonna lie. Well, that's not good. Sorry to hear that. Hope it gets better. Hope it gets better. I had a pretty good weekend. Pretty chill. Did a little bit of work. Caught up on some family time stuff. Liam was actually with his grandma, which was cool. So we got a little bit more calm and sanity in the house, which was really cool. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Chilling. You know, I will say though, the UFC, which I'm sure a lot of you guys watched the UFC over the weekend. How many of you guys watched it, man? Also, what the hell is my hair doing? Jesus. How many guys watched the UFC? I gotta say, like, I loved the first fight. I thought it was so entertaining, and I really like Kevin Holland. But, dude, that card was, like, in my opinion, not that great. And I definitely don't think it was worth $80, which kind of sucks. I don't know. Maybe it was just me or whatever, but I was like, these fights were all right. Didn't it feel like there was one less fight than there should have been anyway? And then the Marab fight, like, it was cool watching Marab go crazy, but, like, Sean had nothing for him. It wasn't really a great fight. Dude, I don't think I could keep shelling out $80 for these fucking UFC. They better change, man. And not to be like a total hater, but you know what else? They don't have they're running out of talent, dude. They are running out of talent. I think they really need to adjust things, but hopefully they can. You know, there's a lot of rumors that they might be going to like Netflix or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I went out to the Warhammer store on Saturday. Got a nice haul. Got the chapter approved cards. Got the new Armageddon book. Picked up some paints and whatnot. And I may or may not have been up till 2 a.m. last night playing Warhammer with my buddy. I'll leave it for you to think about and decide. John says, hey, yo, happy we got an Invincible game coming. Not big on it being 3v3 fighter. What's your most anticipated movie of the summer? Much love. Thanks, brother. And I'm excited about that Invincible game. Dude, fighting games, man. Wow, there's just so many great fighting games coming out. That Marvel one looks really good. The Invincible one looks really good. That little side scroller, John, that's Marvel as well. That looks really fun. Man, yeah, dude. And we're going to talk later today. We'll talk a little bit about like the handheld Xbox. We'll talk about like some of the gaming stuff overall. I wanted to talk a little bit about Deadpool VR because, yeah, that was the game that I saw a couple of weeks back in New York. So we'll get into some gaming stuff for sure. I will answer your question by saying it's probably the Fantastic Four, man. That's my most anticipated movie. But Superman's really up there, too. In my opinion, Superman is looking better and better, which is so good for them, right? But a lot of these new spots, they look really good. I'm starting to get excited for Superman. We'll talk about Superman because there's actually some kind of bad news out there about Superman, but it's weird because at the same time, I'm actually excited for it. But if you're asking me what's my most anticipated, it would have to be Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, for sure. Okay, big changes. Watching Andor. You know, I don't know if I am going to watch Andor. I should hit Theory up and ask him because I said if he recommended it, I would watch Andor. I know he did his review, but I didn't check it out. Did anybody see his review? Did he recommend it? Did he yell at me in his video and say, hey, Josh, you better watch Andor now, motherfucker? I didn't see it if he did. He said it was good? Shit. I mean, cool. That's cool. So should I text him and be like, yo, should I watch this shit? He said peak Disney Star Wars. No, he fucking did not. I know that's it. No way. Pull up the tape. Pull up the tape. Pull up the evidence. I don't fucking believe it. Andor made theory horny. Oh, wow. Okay, chat. All right. He did? Get the fuck out of here. All right. We're going to just ignore all of that and move right along into my announcement. Okay, guys. It's not clickbait. I actually do have some. Things do change today forever. And I want to talk about it. I want to explain what's going on for you guys. I think a lot of you guys are going to be really excited about it, to be honest with you, which is part of the reason that I'm actually doing it. So let's begin. Give me just a second here to explain this. And then we'll get into the news, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about as well, too, on today's stream. So, as many of you guys know, for the past almost year now, I've been making a lot of changes to the content. I've been making a lot of changes to the different channels. And this was all due to the fact that around a year ago, probably less than a year ago, to be honest with you. Time is a flat circle and shit. But yeah, about a year ago, I made all these changes. And this was all because I now had representation, right? So I had an agent, I had a manager. And because of the way they kind of see content and because of the way they sort of sell ads and everything like that, I had adjusted the content over here to sort of match up with that stuff better. And to be honest with you, a lot of you guys didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, there were a lot of people that were supportive of the idea of us branching out or trying new things, but a lot of you guys didn't like it. It led to things like a lot shorter streams. It led to things like me not really interacting with chat because we were treating it more like a show than we were treating it like a stream. Okay, so a lot of different changes. And the news today and the decision that I've made and just the future of like content and what we're doing over here is different because I have decided to part ways with my representation. Okay, so that's actually probably a little shocking to some of you guys, maybe not super shocking to some of you other people. And I don't want to go into the full details. Like, I don't want to explain everything that took me to this decision. Okay, but here's what I will say. Number one, I will say that I have nothing bad to say about anybody that I worked with, anybody that I was collaborating with. I have nothing bad to say about any of those people. I consider them all to be, well-meaning people, successful people. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. And so I have nothing bad to say about them or the relationship or anything that happened. But with all that being said, there was some disagreement and basically a main divergence in the way we think about content. Okay. And so, my team really thought of the content as like a show, and they really thought of this thing here that we're doing right now as a show. Okay. And I just didn't. I was like, it's not a show, it's a stream. And I know streaming is not something that easily fits into the, podcast world or the ad selling world or whatever, all of that sort of stuff. But fundamentally, guys, it got to a point where, because, there was, obviously there was a long time where we didn't really have any deals and anything like that. And there was about to be a period where we were going to, and I sort of saw this window. It was like my last chance before things really ramped up for me to walk away. Okay. And I decided to make that decision. And the main core reason is that I view content and brand differently than those people. That's it. That is basically it. And by the way, they're going to be absolutely fine. They're building some really cool stuff, which I can't really speak to, but they're building some really cool stuff. Maybe you guys will hear about it in the next year or something. And I wish all of those people the best and a bunch of success. But the truth is, I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? I'm just not that guy. I'm too wild. I'm too unpredictable. I'm too, potentially a brand risk. I'm too flagrant. I'm too I'm not that guy, man. I'm not the fit to try to button it up, make it produced, censor myself, all of these things. That's not me. I was never going to be comfortable in that sort of a situation. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's us either. You know what I mean? Like, the more that I thought about this community, the more I thought about the support that we have here and the streams and just everything that I have going on. It's just, I see things completely differently, and I don't want to be obstructed or constrained by any of those things that like they're thinking about, they're worrying about. I just don't see that as really the future of content. Okay, so that's the main thing. Okay, now what does that mean for us? What does that mean for you? Well, one thing is it's a stream again. Okay, this is not a fucking show. It's not a fucking show. I'm not even gonna do the fucking podcast anymore. This is not going up on podcast feeds. No, not anymore, Kimosabi. We're not doing that shit anymore. I will have a podcast eventually. It's going to be a Warhammer podcast, but that's a completely different thing. This shit is a stream, okay? So we're back to streaming. Means a couple of different things. Number one, a little bit more casual here. I'll be interacting with chat a lot more. These will be probably longer. We will do all sorts of other cool and fun things. Like we're going to watch a video today about the handheld Xbox thing. And, we're just, it's just generally going to be more casual, more like it was before. I'm still not going to stream on Fridays. I will still do the Nerdy News Rundown. I'm going to continue to make improvements on that and kind of make that a thing because I like the Nerdy News Rundown. But mostly the main thing is that it just means I'm now in full control again of everything that I do and everything that I do not do. So I am going to shape the vision of Den of Nerds and the content myself. I also am going to go out and get brand deals and, affiliate link deals. Like, I'm going to go out and get deals myself on my own terms because I still think there's a space for that within what we want to do. But generally, yeah, that's basically it. That's probably all that I want to say about it. But it is a big change. And it's not something I took lightly. It was a decision I made after a lot of thought, a lot of like meditating, self-reflection. And I think it's just the move for me personally. I don't think that it's the move for everybody in every situation. And I think a lot of people could even work with the same people that I worked with and have an incredible experience and it'd be very fruitful for all parties. But that ain't me, babe. That ain't me. So I have to be authentic and true to myself and true to the audience, true to you guys. So that's it. That's pretty much all I want to say. So shit's gonna, marathon stream. Well, to be honest with you, that was a consideration as well, right? So I don't want to get into all the details, but I did want to do marathon streams. I want to do a subathon. And if I get stuck on a subathon for 4 days with you guys, I don't want to have to think about content, podcasts, all this other bullshit. I just want to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? So there's the future of the channel is going to go much more in a direction of like streaming and a content creator than like a sort of produced show or a situation like that too. Okay. Now I will say a couple of things right off the bat, just to kind of show you what I mean about the changes. Okay. So first of all, this Friday, Diamond Lounge back on YouTube. Okay, that's the first one. Diamond Lounge this Friday back on YouTube. I think we could probably go 7:30, 8:30. I'll leave it up to you guys. We can figure it out. Diamond Lounge back on YouTube this Friday. Next thing, Sunday morning, Prime stream. Prime streams are coming back, and this Prime stream will be pretty juicy because I will explain every goddamn thing that's been going on, how I view content, some of the things I learned from the team that I previously had, and like how I see content moving forward. Here's a little hint for what I want to talk about on Sunday. I think AI is going to make it so video content is not as desirable as live content in the future. I think in the future, there will be such a craving for authenticity and also just human shit, because your whole world's gonna be filled with generated video, that people are going to very much value live content with human beings. I think that's a big bet I'm making, kind of by my whole thought process here is sort of future thinking about that. So I'll talk a little bit about that on Sunday's Prime stream, but between the Diamond Lounge coming back to YouTube and between the Prime stream this Sunday and with some other stuff I've been cooking, I think you guys are going to be pretty happy with the changes. And yep, so that's that. That is that. And I can answer a couple of questions. Like, again, I don't really want to get into the details. And, I have nothing really bad to say about anybody that I was involved with. But, if there is some questions or if you have a thought or whatever, if I can answer it, I will answer it. But I'd rather not get too crazy into the weeds on all that. Okay. So, as far as show notes are concerned, guys, we will do a members-only stream Wednesday night at 7:30. Maybe I'll even talk a little bit about this whole situation there a little bit. Then we'll do a Diamond Lounge on Friday, and then Sunday we'll do a Prime stream. So that's the big news. That's how things are changing. We're going to be just fine, Again, this is the right move for me, for my brand, and for you guys. And, so that's what it is. Thank you very much. Any crazy questions before I get into the news? Any crazy questions? Any thoughts, comments, concerns? Chat, what do you think? Joe V2, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers, baby. I'm not going to lie. I felt a way when I learned you can specifically gift a membership and pick a person. My shit is Dev Shadow turned off because I've been here every day for years and people would gift heavy. So here's a question for you, bro. Have you received a lot of gifted members in the past? Because I think they cap it at a certain thing. So, I think Shreddy got a free membership for, a year from a whole bunch of different people. And then they never let him get another one again. So that could be what it is. Sean, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers, baby. Appreciate the support. Dr. Cool says the streams are back and there's gonna be trouble. Yeah, dude. And that's the other thing, too, is I can be as unhinged and degenerate as I want now. I can be as unhinged and degenerate as I want. Hell yeah, boy. Also, it won't gift you if you have a branded account. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. Hashtag no filter Josh. I know it's a scary thought, right? Unhinged Josh is back. Yeah. We'll see. I can finally stop being tame. Oh, this is you tame, huh? This is you tame, huh? Blaine Slack says, hyped Diamond Lounge is going... Oh, shit. Hyped Diamond Lounge is going to be back on YouTube. It'll be my first one. What are your thoughts on the Invincible game? Yo, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I like the art design. The combat looked good. It's not as fluid as that Marvel game we recently saw, right? But it looks good. It looks like fun combat. Characters seem to have good kits from what I saw. I'm definitely going to check it out. I kind of hope it's on Game Pass or something like that. I don't know if I want to pay full retail. It would depend. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm enjoying Invincible quite a bit. And if the game gets rave reviews or whatever, maybe I would pay full price for it. I'd prefer like a Game Pass thing or something like that. But yeah, man. Jared Loveberry says, bring call-ins back and it'll be peak OG. I mean, let's not get crazy. Jared, let's not get crazy, okay? Let's not get crazy, but we'll think about it. Stu Redmond says, are crash outs making a comeback now? They've been noticeably absent lately. I mean, we'll see. I'm feeling pretty zen and pretty chill, but then again, if y'all do what you do every week, I'm sure that won't last long. Appreciate you. Grandmaster Choda says, hanging dong to celebrate. Let's do it. No. Come on. We're not that desperate yet. We're not OnlyFans yet. My God. Sean says, did you talk to Theory about Andor? He actually watched it. Also, Nintendo postponing Zelda ruined my Monday. I have not talked to him about that. I talked to him a little bit over the weekend, but not about that. I thought about hitting him up yesterday. I'll hit him up. I'll hit him up about it. I'll ask about it. And Nintendo delaying Zelda ruined your Monday. Yeah, it's kind of a strange one, but then again, I think that's a very important movie. I think movies are in a weird place. The tech's like evolving so quickly. It's funny, like, technically speaking, and I know nobody wants to hear this shit, but fuck you! Because now it's my show again! So I know nobody wants to hear this, but the truth is, right now, if I were making a big movie, I'd probably delay it just so that the AI tech could get like 6 months more ahead so that my budget would decrease dramatically. So maybe that's something they're doing. But either way, I think that movie's really important. I don't mind the delay, and I like that it's moved into the Secret Wars spot in 2027. That's actually like a really nice thing to look forward to at the beginning of the year of 2027. So totally understand it, man. You know, it's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Korg Clip says, what role do you think Sentry and the Void will have in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars? I don't know, brother. I'd love to believe that they'd have a big old role. I do like the character. I like the portrayal in Thunderbolts, too, for sure, man. So hopefully he gets some shine. It's kind of hard. It's hard to say. I mean, these movies seem so fucking crazy. Like, how much shine could any particular character have? And then if this is really, truly the last outing for, like, Fox X-Men actors and some legacy MCU actors, then the priority should probably be giving them shine, no? So, Tim O'Brien, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, my man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Riley S. says, hashtag Josh cares. Much love, Papa J. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Mr. Fantastic 4 says, excited times ahead. My favorite recent streams are when you quit YouTube. Getting back to that energy has me super pumped. Nerd Vengers for life. Our 420 Vengers for life. Nerd Vengers for life. Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Look, this space, in all seriousness, this space is an interesting one. A lot of people are trying to figure it out. Like I said, I don't think, like, the people that I was working with, they're smart people. They understand what they're doing. I think I have a particular angle on content and just media in general, which doesn't necessarily align with people that are very brand sensitive. And that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, the good thing about the world right now is I actually have the choice, right? I have the choice. I could basically say, fuck that, and go alternative route, do everything myself. And, you know, I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, sure, maybe I wouldn't be able to reach the heights in the revenue that I could with some of these other deals, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like all that glitters isn't gold, and peace of mind and, you know, authenticity, I think, are maybe more important to me. So I just want to stick with that, man. And you know what? There's another side of this, too, that and everybody's going to be all mad when I say this, but it's true. I was finding it difficult to build up my Warhammer content while locked into these deals, because all I was doing was like thinking about the Den of Nerds and how to make sure it was operating within that system well, et cetera, et cetera. Now I can kind of not worry as much, and I can take a little bit more time to work on my Warhammer content, which I know you guys might think is crazy, but like, that's the future of content for me. I really feel I've been working on a lot of videos there. And they're just better, man. Like, they're just better than the Marvel content I'm making right now. And don't get me wrong, like, dude, the streams are fire. We make some banger videos, but like on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis, am I really putting out incredible Marvel content? I don't really think so, you know? I think I can occasionally put out some dope shit. I think I'm super plugged in, and so there's value in that. And people like to hear what I have to say about the leaks, rumors, etc. But this isn't what I want to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, not really. I want to make videos that people, I want to make content that really excites and activates people. And the big difference, like a crazy thing that happened over the past year, right, was like, so I have this video that's like, you know, 950K views, like almost to 1 million views. It's a Warhammer video. And the experience of whenever I talk to people that have watched that video, which oddly happens a lot in the real world, whenever I talk to people that watch that video, or I look at the comments on that video or whatever, it's just a totally different vibe than like a lot of what I'm doing right now. And it's something I feel better about. It's something people value better, like at a higher level. You know, news is cool, and it's cool to be plugged in, and I love streaming with y'all. But there's, you know, I want to build something that can be revisited. I want to build something that I'm proud of. I want to build something I put my passion into. And right now, like, my passion is with Warhammer. You know what I mean? So that's another big thing that I want to work on. You know, the other thing too. So I just heard the dogs going crazy out there. Let me tell you, I don't want to turn this into a big fucking therapy session, okay? But the truth is, man, like, I've got 2 dogs, 2 kids. This house is wild, okay? And I was putting a big strain on everybody in the house to try to make these shows more presentable and to really, like, make sure that these were well produced and there wasn't distractions and sounds and shit like that. Dude, who gives a shit? You know, my dogs are out there making a little noise. I don't give a fuck. Like, the kids are making a little noise. I don't care. I don't fucking care. That's not what matters, really. And so there's just, like, my mindset is just going in a different place with it. You know what I mean? And I think the blemishes, the cracks, the realness of it, I think that's actually a part of the charm. And so I'm just going to lean into that. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, bro. We ball. And honestly, I'll stop there. But, like, I feel really good. I feel really good. I feel really focused. I feel like I'm going to go out and execute better than ever. And also be more chill. Have more fun with you guys and shit, you know? Korg Clip says, do you believe the Warhammer or the Emperor of Warhammer will return? Yeah, probably. It just kind of depends on what form, right? So there's like the Star Child theory. I think the Emperor could return. There's ways that this could happen where he would be less powerful. And so maybe that could happen. Some people think it might be like the end of the setting kind of thing. That could be. I also think the other Primarchs could return. Like, I almost thought that Sanguinius could return and the Emperor's soul could just go into Sanguinius, which would be really cool. But yeah, no, I think so. Harry says, with a $10 holla, that's very generous, man, says, Theory only recommended the last 5 to 6 episodes. He actually said to skip the first half, which I don't agree with. I'd say watch the last 5 to 6 episodes, feel more like Rogue One, which is nice. Okay, yeah, there you go. Maybe I will. It's cool. Maybe I'll text the lad. I'll text the lad later and see what he has to say about it, you know? Shockwave, appreciate the 5 spot, says, Warhammer shall dominate. Which enemy type army do you use? Wait, what? Which enemy type army do you use? For me, it's Necrons. Oh, you mean like Traitor army or whatever? I'm kind of a purist, man. I rock Imperial shit. I rock Dark Angels, and I rock Custodes. So those are the two armies that I rock. I was playing last night, man. Had an incredible game playing the Dark Angels versus my buddy's sisters. Damn, those sisters got real good again, man. The sisters were shitty for a while, and now they're not anymore, and that sucks. So that's not good. All right, guys. Any other thoughts, comments, questions, or can we just get into the news, man? I got some Superman stuff to talk about. I want to talk about Warner Brothers being split into 2 companies. What the fuck? I want to talk about Thor 5. I want to talk about Denzel and Black Panther. I want to talk about Warhammer, an article. Henry Cavill made more comments. Oh my god! And then I want to talk about some gaming shit, man. Any thoughts on the Elden Ring movie? I'm excited. I'm anticipating it to be pretty good. I'm hoping they spend a good chunk of money on it. You know, I saw some people in the Discord yesterday discussing it in our Discord, and they were like, how could they make this movie for, like, cheap or whatever? And I kind of agree. I mean, it's definitely got visual spectacle in a lot of ways. Like, you think about some of those boss fights, and to translate that, right, into live action would seemingly be pretty tough. So... yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I'm excited. I also hope they shell out at least $150 million on it. How much did they spend on Civil War, right? Because A24 makes smaller movies, but I'm pretty sure Civil War cost them like $150, $200 million, right? So they can spend money. I think Elden Ring's the one to spend money on, dude. You know, faux show. That's what I think. Did I miss one of yours, Tim? My soups. Did I miss one of your super chats, brother? Let me see here. Zach says, happy Monday. Josh, got to watch after work, but take my money. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Much love. Appreciate you, man. Zach says, hey, Josh, Den of Unfiltered, Jiggle Physics, Nerd Vengers for life. Hell yeah. Hitting them with sticks says, what life lessons do you hope your kids take from Star Wars / Marvel? I mean, the Star Wars one's really easy. It's being selfless, seeking the light, avoiding selfishness, keeping an eye on people in power, for corruption. From Marvel, I think the Marvel story is like embrace adventure, rise to the occasion, be brave, those sort of things. I think those are all great lessons, man. But, the question you should have asked, of course, is what should they take away from Warhammer? And that's when shit gets real serious. That's like, codify your hatred. Hatred is the greatest gift the Emperor ever gave us. Suffer not the Xenos to live. Deep fear and hatred of aliens. Powerful stuff for kids. Being savage as fuck, brutal as fuck, beautiful. Incredible life lessons there for the young ones. Turning in other people for being a heretic and stuff like that. So there's like an incredible amount of life lessons within all of the different franchises. Joe V2, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers, baby. Sean, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers, baby. Woo! Let's see. Did I really miss your message there, brother? I don't think I did. Zach says, did you see the price of the Galactus bucket? I saw it was $80. Yeah, it's pretty pricey, huh? Guys, what do you think? $80 for that big old Galactus popcorn bucket? What do you think? Civil War's budget was $50 million, and that was their most expensive one? Oh my God, they got to double that, bro. $50 million budget for Civil War. Yeah, they better double that shit. Damn. Hell nah on that 80. Okay, so here's what I'll do for you guys. I'll try to grab up a couple of them, a couple of extra ones, and we'll do some giveaways. I'll get one for me. I'll get two for you guys. And we'll try to give you guys, we'll try to do a giveaway on it. Shipping on that's probably going to be a bitch too, but fuck it. Marbles? I don't know if I'm going to do the marbles. I mean, I get why he does it or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll just draw a random name out of the hat and we'll be like, oh, it's Elisa. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, shit. Liam's the other one. Fuck off, chat. Me. So that's probably what'll happen. Alex says, I now work remotely and can watch streams again. Oh, hell yeah. Sort of fell off Star Wars DC MCU vids in recent years, but hope all is well, brother. Old Alex EP. Oh, my God, Alex. Dude, it's good to hear from you, brother. I hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, I mean, we're doing good over here. Look, content's weird, fandom's weird, Marvel and Star Wars, but Warhammer's the future, Alex. I'll tell you all about it. Hit me up. Shoot me a text or something. Tim O'Brien says, you didn't miss a super of mine, but here's one anyways. Oh, appreciate you, brother. That's very generous. $10. Nerd Vengers for life, Ranch Vengers for life. Andor is no longer boring, ? No, it is. Josh will get a haircut today. I mean, I'm trying to get one this week. I definitely want to try to get one this week. Community, Shreddy is still sleeping. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm not happy about 80, but I'm probably going to grab it because I can't help myself. Same, dude. Same. No, I mean, I think it looks really cool. 80 is damn pricey, but at the same time, it's cool. It's got glowing eyes. It's a big old fucking Galactus head. I mean, I'd probably spend close to that on a statue of Galactus anyway. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But like I said, I'll try to grab... It depends on how many they have at my theater. And if they let me get 3, 80 for the Galactus popcorn bucket, bro. $80 for the popcorn bucket is more scuff than the bottom of my shoes. Damn! I have a Sentry haircut from the Thunderbolts. Oh, okay, there you go. Did you dye it too? Yeah, the popcorn bucket, man. You shitting me? Nah, man. My girl finally got used to hearing you in the background when I get my Marvel fix just for Josh to quit. Cool. No, I didn't quit, man. I didn't quit. We're still getting you're still going to get your Marvel fix? Chill out. There goes my Madden money. I know, right? I know, right? Cinemark has the $20 tin bucket. Ooh. Yeah, but you need that Galactus one, too. I mean, I want it real bad. Tiberius, appreciate you, brother. Says, showing support to Josh and the Nerd Avengers. Great SGS stream last week. Happy to see the channel grow. Hoping F4, Fantastic Four, and Superman succeed. Me too, man. I hope both movies do really, really well. I just hope Fantastic Four does just a little bit better, you know? But in all seriousness, yeah, I want both movies to succeed. And I think actually both movies are looking really, really good, which we'll get into in a minute here. Superman's really ramped up its production for sure. And yeah, I thought the Summer Games Fest stream was fun. That's another thing is like, I want to do more streams like that and just watch nerdy shit together and like get excited about it. That was fun. And of course, I'll briefly say here before we get into all the news, guys, I played Deadpool VR. This was 2 weeks ago when I went to New York City. Deadpool VR was announced on Friday. There's been a bunch of fun trailers. I thought the Ryan Reynolds, Doogie Howser one was hilarious. I have a video that's going to drop later today all about Deadpool VR. I'm dropping it on the main channel. I don't even know how the video will do. I don't really make gaming content, right? So we'll see how the video does. But I did write a cool script. I made a cool video. I liked the game. So if you're curious about what Deadpool VR is about, check that out later today on the channel. But if you just sort of in passing want to hear what I think about it, it was fucking dope, man. I can't wait to play more of it. The main kit, the way you use your weapons and you throw your weapons and stuff, it was really, really cool. So I enjoyed it. That Superman spot looks good, says Ethan. Oh, hell yeah. If they include the Dune bucket tendrils on the Galactus bucket, I'm buying. Okay, bud. All right, bud. Shockwave Labs says, also, if you have Amazon Prime, tickets for the early screening go on sale tomorrow, I believe, for Superman. Is that something I should do? Is that something I should do? Should I go see Superman early? Huh. Summer Game Fest was fun. It was fun, man. It was. Yeah. No Halo at the Summer Game Fest or at the Microsoft John yesterday, which is kind of curious. But we'll talk more about that later. Thoughts on Sue Storm being the leader? I mean, look, we'll come back to that. If you can remind me later on in the stream, I can get into the details on that. Look, this was actually a rumor that happened like years ago, right? And so I talked about it when it first popped up, and I was like, I don't like it. And I don't like it. But at the same time, I have to wait and see what it actually looks like and entails. There's been enough in the trailers for me so far to be like, well, they're not making Reed a doofus. He's still the smartest man on the planet. So as long as it feels like Reed is Reed, I mean, Sue's always been Sue. She's a bad bitch, man. And she's often in charge. So I don't really see the issue. I understand the trepidation. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. 3-hour stream today. It's going to be long. We're on a 40-minute intro. We're going, listen, what I'm saying is like, dude, I used to just be like, boom, 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 and then we're out of here. We're taking our sweet-ass time. Chat, I'm going to take my sweet-ass time with y'all. I'm going to caress your cheek, kiss your forehead, take you through news nerdy shit, leave you wanting more. Brezio Berusha. That's what we're doing. Okay, let's talk Superman, dude. Can we talk Superman now? Are you guys done yapping? Holy. Unsub. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's get into this, man. So, Superman marketing has ramped the fuck up. And I think it's actually doing a good job. However, there's also some weird stuff coming out about Superman. So I don't know if you guys saw Daniel RPK posted something about the plot, how the movie changed, and to me it's a little bit concerning. So in this little section here, we'll talk about the promotion of Superman, how do we think it's doing, and then we'll talk about this rumor from Daniel RPK, and we'll see. Because I'm actually starting to feel like Superman might not even be that great of a film, because I'm kind of concerned about some of the things I'm hearing, but I think it's going to be full-on spectacle, and I think it's actually going to be incredibly successful. I mean, again, we live in a world where Lilo and Stitch is crushing it, Chicken Jockey is crushing it, and from what I understand, both those movies actually suck. They're a crowd pleaser, but if your IQ's higher than the temperature in the room, you're probably not really loving those films, you know, Chicken Jockey, Fuck Ohana, Family Sucks Balls. Like you've heard some of the things that are going on with those two films. Okay. So let's talk about this. First, let's look at this new spot here from the Supersmans. I believe this is a Chinese trailer, and it's good, man. It's real good. This is a TV spot here.
The glasses.
Hey, loser. You're a loser.
He's not a man. He's an it with a cocky grin and a stupid outfit.
Who's that guy you were seeing?
He's so strange.
Stop. Sit.
Oh, I like strange.
I think that's a pretty good trailer, man. Chat, you let me know. What?
Eventually, people are going to find out that you're Superman.
Yeah, but...
The glasses.
Hey, loser. You're a loser.
He's not a man. He's an it with a cocky grin and a stupid outfit.
Who's that guy you were seeing?
He's so strange.
Stop. Sit.
Oh, I like strange.
I mean, it's very James Gunn. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff in here. I'm like, but visually, dude, this looks incredible. Like, I truly think it looks really
People are
good.
going to find out that you're
That looks dope.
Superman.
Yeah,
I love the flying, dude. The
glasses.
flying sequence is incredible.
Loser. You're a loser.
He's not a man.
Dude, I mean, I'm just saying, like, all that kind of shit looks so fun.
Cocky grin and a stupid outfit.
Like, even the way he saves that lady and just, like, smiles at her a little bit there. Like, dude, it really is nailing.
Who's that guy you were seeing?
He's so strange.
Stop. Sit.
Oh, I like strange.
I think the visuals on this shit look phenomenal, dude. And I think it's selling off of those visuals, and I think it's gonna actually do pretty well. So it's funny, like the trailer has, I think, a lot of things in there that, you know, the folks that were worried about Guardians of the Galaxy Superman are like, ooh, I don't know about all that. But at the end of the day, like, I'm just so sold on these visuals, man. They look really good. Check this out. This is a new look at David Cornsweet as Superman. And I mean, my God, bro, this looks awesome. I really wish we could go back in time and make this into the first look, because goddamn, I really think the discourse around this thing would be very different. This looks really good to me. But, you know, look, they have it out now. They're pushing this out in different ways. And I think this is like Clark's a type of character that, just like looking at him, if it hits right, is enough to evoke all sorts of feelings. I mean, he is like living iconography. So this just being as good as it is and looking as nostalgic as it is, this could win some people over. Like, you know, it's just like a little marketing image, but like, real talk, like, you could see some dads or some uncles, like, and they see this image and they're like, you know, how about that Superman movie or something like that, you know? So I think the marketing kick over the last few days has been really good. And a part of that, strangely enough, is happening on Fortnite. I never in a million years thought that I would be up here talking about Fortnite and how Superman in Fortnite is a success for selling the film. I remember years ago, Marvel and the Russo brothers really started to dip their toe into this. There were different scenes and segments that they put into Fortnite. They would drop trailers into Fortnite. If you'll recall, there was like a little thing for Rise of Skywalker that happened exclusively in Fortnite. And I just remember being like, bro, what are they thinking? What are they doing? Well, I mean, I think now it makes sense. I mean, first of all, I think it looks incredible. I think the model that they made for the Fortnite game looks dope as hell. You know, honestly, looks better than the fucking suit in the movie in a lot of different ways, which is crazy. And then on top of that, the actual action, dude, like the way he does like his super punching and flying around, the cape movement, all this stuff is like on point. Like, you have a bunch of gamers excited about Superman in Fortnite, and I really do think that matters. And here's a great shot of it here, like the way he hits that car, boom, like, dude, it just looks awesome, right? So I think this is a win. I think this is a W. I think they've done a lot of interesting marketing, and I would expect it to even take it further. And by all accounts, Superman is getting a ton of attention and is likely to do very well in the box office. I think either this week or next week. Like, I've heard the rumor of the 12th. We'll see if that's how it actually ends up playing out. But we've heard the rumor that around the 12th, or maybe a little sooner, maybe a little bit later, the official tickets will go on sale for Superman. Now, of course, Marvel kind of undercut them a bit by pre-selling Fantastic Four, which happens 2 weeks after Superman. And so far, it's the biggest pre-sale of the year, right? If we hear that Superman has dethroned it, that'll be an incredible sign for Superman. But if it doesn't, then I think that's a little bit concerning. 2 weeks after your movie, a massive movie that's already selling out, setting records, that's certainly going to cut into the legs of this film overall in the box office. One of the things we talked about late last week, and I put this into the Nerdy News Rundown, Superman's budget is $400 million. Despite what Gunn wants you to believe, despite what The Wrap wants you to believe, THR broke the seal on this late last week and explained that the budget is at least $400 million, okay? So that was kind of wild in and of itself. I didn't really expect that. Like, I didn't expect, like, one Hollywood trade to break from the other Hollywood trade narrative and, like, basically say that this thing was one of the most expensive movies of all time. But that is true, and that is out there. Now, I said in NNR, and I still believe this, it does make it so the movie needs to make a significant amount more to be considered success in its own theatrical run. But I do not believe the movie needs to be profitable to justify the rest of the DCU. I think you need a very strong showing. I think you need a lot of signals that Superman and DC is now at a higher place in the zeitgeist, that the movie is making waves and that people are excited about it. But this is maybe one of the most expensive films ever made. I just don't know that you can actually sit there and say it needs to be really profitable or else. Kind of feels like this movie gets to $1 billion, it's just breaking even. That's kind of wild, but we'll see. Maybe Superman can even do better than that. I mean, if this thing makes 1.5 or more, then all of those problems, all those concerns go away. However, there is a little bit of concerning piece of news here about Superman. This has to do with leaks and rumors. I don't think it gives anything crazy away, but I guess I should issue a slight spoiler warning here. This is something we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, guys. Basically, ever since the first screening of Superman, which happened late last year, we were told Warner Brothers wanted to make all kinds of changes to the movie. Now, as things went along, we got more details on that. And there was, of course, that big article about bringing in the other editor, bringing in the other composer, Warner Brothers making all kinds of cuts and all this sort of stuff, right? Well, about a week ago, Jeff Snyder reported that he had heard that there was a vignetting framing device in the film where it was going to take place in the days of the week. You'd have a Monday, you'd have a Tuesday, you'd have a, like every day of the week leading up to Sunday probably. Now, Jeff said that was removed. When I initially heard that, I was like, that's a little concerning. I wonder, are they still going to keep it as sort of an anthology thing, or are they going to now try to create it into a singular narrative? If they were creating it into a singular narrative, I was going to be a little bit concerned. Unfortunately, that appears to be what they're doing. James Gunn's Superman reworked from day-by-day format to single narrative. James Gunn wrote Superman movie script in an episodic structure, but the final cut moves away from the day-by-day format. According to Daniel Richtman's recent Patreon post, Superman initially had an episodic structure, breaking the story up by days. It has reportedly been turned into a continuous single narrative in the final edit. Below, you can watch the international teaser trailer. We reported that the budget of Superman is reportedly $225 million. According to the Hollywood Reporter, DC Studios and Warner Brothers could spend as much as $200 million on the global marketing campaign for Superman compared to the usual $150 for an all-audience summer tentpole. Here's the logline for DC, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that is kind of wild. Like, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're absolutely cooked, but in my opinion, the thing that this really means is like, dude, that is a big, big change. So I guess we'll just see. It doesn't mean they couldn't make it work, and we know that Gunn did reshoots, although they have categorized that as pickups and not a lot of intensive stuff. Maybe it was more intensive than they're leading on, which would help potentially make this new version of the film work together. I gotta be real here, man. I'm actually at a place here, just given everything I know about the film, I'm starting to believe that this could actually end up being one of the sloppiest films that Gunn has ever made. I'm personally of the mind that Fantastic Four will be a much better, cleaner actual story and film, okay? And unfortunately, I do get the feeling that Superman has changed to lean more into nostalgia and to lean more into its action, okay? Now, that doesn't mean I don't think I'll enjoy the film. And in fact, some of the changes that were apparently made are quite encouraging to me. We talked about how people were saying they took a lot of the jokes out, right? And I don't like Gunn's infantile sense of humor. So like for me, taking out some of those jokes, that's great. If they took the super shit rumor out, amazing. Like incredible. I'm excited about it. But I'm just being honest. Like, I feel like because we've heard so much about how Warner Brothers wanted to change this movie, and Warner Brothers is so concerned about the movie. And as we're about to talk about in the next segment here, Warner Brothers is breaking their shit up into two companies. They probably want to sell all of this off anyways. So it's all a long con to sell and to get a good acquisition or something like that, right? So there's just a lot of scary corporate pressure that was put onto Superman. I mean, if it were any other film in the world, we would say that's a bad sign. You know, I know there's going to be people out there that want to just support Gunn and support Superman, and they're like, no, it can't be. I mean, I think if you're just being objective, that's not good. You don't want to hear that shit. And it does not foster probably the kind of creativity that you're looking for as a filmmaker. But it is corporate art. It is commercial art. And it's something that's really important to Warner Brothers. So I'm kind of leaning towards this film maybe not actually being as sharp as a lot of other James Gunn films, which, like, you know, look, I don't even love Gunn stuff. I like the Guardians movies, but really the first one's the best. The third one's pretty good. And the second one I did not like, right? So maybe we're looking at something a little bit more like the second Guardians, which is like a little wild, a little sloppy, uneven, but ultimately still has, you know, heart, has spectacle, has all these really great things. And maybe that'll be just fine. I'm getting the impression that Superman is going to be very successful. That's the impression that I am getting. I think Superman is going to be very successful. I think that whenever they hired that marketing dude, that ex-Disney guy, I think that was a brilliant move because basically from that moment on, the Superman marketing, I think, has been a lot better. I think the movie's going to be fun. I think it's going to be spectacle, but I think we might see a lot of blemishes and a lot of flaws, which is probably okay too. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably okay too, especially if it is commercially successful, right? So I just wanted to bring this to your attention because, of course, we cover all this sort of stuff. A lot of us are curious how Superman going to perform, etc., etc. To me, just based on the marketing, some of the numbers I've seen before, I think the thing is, I think it's going to pop off, and we'll know soon when the ticket sales start. But I'm also slowly getting this feeling that it's not actually going to be a super sharp A+, you know, kind of movie. I think there's definitely going to be some blemishes, and it's super concerning that it goes from an episodic thing to like a flowing narrative like that. That of course that could work, but like that is not the shit you want to hear. You know what I mean? And we didn't hear any of that with Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four basically went off without a hitch. Like they nailed it with Fantastic Four. So just different things happening for these two different movies, and I just want to bring this to your attention so you can kind of adjust your expectations. And of course, if you have any questions about it, let me know. And in fact, if you want to, we can just do questions right now. Does anybody have any questions about that? And I'll catch up on a couple of chats here too. Let's hear a sneak peek for the news, please. Let's hear a sneak peek of the news, please. Oh, I think I did that. Philip Hatch says, you're the mother effing goat. We're so back, nerds. W streamer, W community. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. And then you gifted 5 members? Holy, bro. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. What are your thoughts, guys, on Superman's New Year, New Josh really happening? 100%. Viewer Anon said the Days of the Week cards were removed. The rest of the movie is still the same. He did say that, but I trust Daniel and I trust Jeff a little bit more than Viewer Anon. I'm not saying Viewer Anon isn't bad, but he literally got his hand stuck in the cookie jar last week or maybe the week before with some of the screening stuff. He doesn't always know what he's talking about, you know? So, hey, maybe they just removed that, but that's not what Daniel's saying. That is not what Daniel's reporting. And it kind of doesn't match up with some of the other reports, right? Superman, I hope, is good, but I don't know, says Mike Porter. I hope it's good too, man. Superman is outperforming Fantastic Four. It very well could be. It very well could be, man. I mean, look, that would suck. You know? Because, like, the way I'm thinking about this bet with Brandon Davis is, like, on the one hand, I lose $500 and it sucks. I'll make some content about it. We'll probably make the money back. But that would suck. And then on the other hand, I win $500 from Brandon Davis, and then I buy another Caladius Grav tank for my Custodes. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's priorities, you know, possibilities, all that, right? Superman doesn't even have ticket sales yet. Impossible to know how it's tracking. That's actually fair. That is fair. But there's data still. We don't have ticket sales data, but there is data. You have the launch of the trailer, which was crazy. There are some companies, like one I like is called Quorum. Quorum does a lot of like data collection and analysis about how things are operating in the zeitgeist on social media. What's the interest level? How do people feel about it? Superman has been pretty consistently very high, according to Quorum. I think Superman is looking to be very big. But again, you're right. We don't have the ticket sales, but yeah. The real Mark Hamill says, what do you think Sentry and the new Avengers roles will be after Secret Wars? Those characters were great in Thunderbolts despite the low box office. I totally agree, man. I love the Thunderbolts characters. I love the Thunderbolts movie. I can't believe that Quantumania and Love and Thunder, some of these other movies, I can't believe they made more money than Thunderbolts. That is a damn shame, dude. Thunderbolts is dope. It's a dope movie. I fucking love that movie. I can't wait to see it again, dude. I'm going to watch it day one when it comes out. Digital or whatever. What are these characters going to do? I think they're going to be the Avengers. I think they'll integrate with some of the other characters and be the Avengers. Maybe they'll have other teams in the future, so maybe Thunderbolts will come back. But I kind of love the idea of those characters in the Mutants and X-Men. Could be really interesting. So yeah, we'll see, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Vandalf the Black says Superman film sounds like the issues from the 1978 film when Lester took it over from Donner. The normies loved it, but Donner cut is better overall. Yeah, I think he was trying to tap into some of that same energy for sure. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe someday we'll see that version with the vignettes. I highly doubt it, but wouldn't that be interesting? It would be interesting if we eventually got that revealed. James Wicks, Tex Venger, says, the real Josh is back. Nerd Vengers for life. 420 Vengers for life. Ow! Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I think the biggest problem is guns. Superman is going to be released too close to Zack's. It's been years, but I mean, damn. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's definitely some Snyder fans that are upset about it. DSO says, facts, 100% agree. Hope the jokes are cut and he doesn't go over the top. Yeah, for sure. 100%. I have heard normies on sports streams say that they're going to see Superman. Superman is a brand. Yeah, Superman is certainly a big brand, iconic. We'll see. We'll see. Was Man of Steel released too close to Superman? Actually, it was pretty fucking close, wasn't it? It was like 2009 and 2005 or something. That was only 7 years? Oh, damn. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Superman, dude. I really am. I just think it looks so fun. I think it looks much better visually, which is so nice. So, yeah, I'm excited about all that. In a 4-week span, Jurassic World, Superman, and F4 released with soups in the middle. It has 2 weeks to make money. Yeah, that is kind of unfortunate. I'm not going to lie. They don't have the best release for this thing right now. That's facts. That is facts. Please need some to watch. Wait, what? The fact that people keep trying to blame Snyder for stuff is crazy. Yeah, for sure. But, it's one of those things, man. People are kind of stuck on it. Hey, bro, I know you probably already said, but what are you making a new channel around Warhammer? Is it all going to be here or what? I have 2 new Warhammer channels. And that's all I want to say. We're cooking. Trust. We're cooking. I'm still going to make Marvel videos. I'm still going to make Star Wars videos. I'm still streaming. I'm going to do a shit ton more streaming. But 2 Warhammer channels. Just trust. Last 3 DC movies are The Flash, Shazam, and Aquaman, all 3 which didn't make money. Actually, that Aquaman movie ended up having pretty good legs. Been burnt by the past regime. Why should they see Superman? Thoughts? Yeah, I think that's true. It's just going to depend. Like, it seems like the audience these days is super educated, though. I guess you never know. It could be the case that people are still just so burnt on DC, they're not going to get activated for it. That would be really concerning. We'll see. You know, there's a lot of concerns. I think if I were gunning them, like, I'd be feeling real crazy because, like, dude, it's just a crazy time. Like, Thunderbolt's bombing is bizarre. Yeah, no, like, that's such a good movie, and they hung their hat on it so heavily for it to lose $100 million. It's crazy. So, I'm happy but shocked the Fantastic Four is selling so well. Yeah, it is interesting. I wonder why. You know, I wonder why. Is Pedro really that appealing? I don't know. And we'll see, because we don't have exact numbers on FF either. But yeah. When is the VR game coming? You talking about Deadpool VR? I believe it's later this year. I'd have to double check. But I believe it's later this year. Drop the ad of the Warhammer channels. Well, one of them is up right now. It's the Warhammer Explained channel. The other one doesn't exist yet. Den Foilia D. It's because of Vanessa Kirby. She is quite the looker. Josh, do you have VR? I do not. Yet. The old Deadpool game was sick. Dude, this VR Deadpool game was incredible, man. I had so much fun. Check out the video I'm going to drop later today where I go into all the details on it. But it kind of blew me away, I'm going to be honest. Kind of blew me away. Xbox show yesterday was fire. It really was fire, dude. It really was. I'm excited. I'm going to get one of those mini Xbox Johns for sure. New Ironheart trailer. Don't care, and I don't have to act like I do care anymore. Okay. Let's talk about the next thing that's fucking crazy, huh? Warner Bros. Discovery to split into 2 companies. Womp, womp, womp. That doesn't seem good. Let's check it out. What the hell is even this? What is going on? Let's read from the article in Variety. Warner Bros. Discovery to split into 2 companies. What the fuck? Warner Bros. Discovery, grappling with declines in its overall business because they suck ass, said Monday it planned to divide the company into 2 publicly traded entities, one devoted to streaming and content production, and one devoted to traditional television. Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav, who people just voted that he shouldn't get the money because he's an overpaid motherfucker, will remain as the leader of the streaming-focused entity, while Gruner Weidenfels, the company's CFO, who's become known for finding new ways to cut old costs, will lead the TV company. Okay. Separation is expected to be completed by mid-2026, subject to closing and other considerations. And the bulk of the current company's debt, nearly $38 billion, will be assigned to the TV entity. Bro, what? That is fucking shady, dude. So they're going to split the company, keep all the DC assets in one company, and put all the debt in the other company? How is that even legal? By operating 2 distinct and optimized companies in the future, we are empowering these iconic brands with sharper focus and strategic flexibility they need to compete most effectively in today's evolving media landscape, said Zaslav in a statement. The company's M&A strategy recently put into place by rival Comcast. The conglomerate is breaking up NBC Universal with plans to place the bulk of its cable networks in the newly publicly traded spinoff called Versant, while keeping it broadcast and streaming assets on the better-known entity NBC. How is this even legal, dude? Warner has had to contend with many obstacles since being formed at the combination of AT&T and Warner Media. The companies once known as Time Warner and the former Discovery Communications under Zaslav. Warner was fiddled with streaming strategies, deprived top cable networks TNT and TBS of original content they need to flourish. Warner recently lost long-held rights to the televised NBA games, a contract that gave its networks a major supporting franchise that drew large crowds at a regular and had written down the value of its cable properties. Warner's recently appeared to find some rhythm. The Max service has developed solid audiences for programs including The Pit and White Lotus. That's true. And the company has recently articulated a strategy to targeting audiences interested with premium content rather than a broader crowd. And Warner's has struck a new distribution deal with cable and satellite companies that call for what are seen internally as favorable terms, despite the loss of the NBA. The streaming company will encompass Warner TV and movie studios, HBO and HBO Max, and the games experience division. The company will focus on building HBO Max streaming service, investing in program. Meanwhile, the TV company will include Warner's TV network, which covers basic brands tied to the TV entities, including Discovery, Bleacher Report, CNN, streaming. So that company's going to fail. I just want you to know that company's going to fail. Warner's move is likely to spur new speculation about a potential consolidation of the media sector. Part of the strategy behind Comcast Versant is the ability to do deals. Paramount Global, the owner of CBS, is under a new financial pressure and may have to consider new rounds of cost cutting if it cannot a deal in place to be acquired by Skydance Media. During an investor call Monday, executives suggested the two companies might continue to be aligned. Ad sales may represent both sides of the split, executives said, and sports, while being placed within the new TV company, will likely continue to stream on HBO Max for the foreseeable future. Though these plans could change if the companies plot their own strategies in the future, U.S. sports rights will reside in the global networks, and its management team will determine how best to monetize streaming and digital rights over time. Okay, so what does this mean? It means the shady corporate entities are doing shady corporate entity things. This was something long speculated. And in fact, I believe several weeks ago, there was some kind of financial analyst firm, or maybe it was even like a journalist organization. It would probably have to be a firm, because I think they downgraded the credit of Warner Discovery. Right. So they downgraded their credit because they lost $11 billion last year, and they don't have the assets and the future proofing that like Disney has, that Apple has, some of these other companies have. So Warner Brothers is kind of in a very tough spot. Their stock price and their market cap has been absolute shit over the last couple of years. So what Zazzy's doing is he's like, I want to split the company. I'll put all the good shit in one company. I'll put all the bad shit in a different company. We'll put all the debt in the bad company, which means that could either be, acquired on the cheap, or, we divest, get it off the books, something like that. It could potentially, I guess, even go bankrupt, so it doesn't like hurt the company a ton with it failing. And it's a weird way to like separate the debt from the assets under DC and whatnot, right? So this is kind of interesting. It's technically possible both companies get acquired. They could get acquired by the same parent company. They could get merged into the same thing, or they could be done separately. From what I've seen, a lot of people out there are speculating this is the first step into some kind of a merger or acquisition, which we know Zaslav has been thinking a lot about over the past couple of years. If that happens and somebody buys the company that has all of the DC stuff, they could absolutely fire James Gunn and fire all his whole team and replace them all. That is, actually, we've literally seen that happen to Warner Brothers themselves a couple of times when they had like different mergers and acquisitions over the past 10 years. I don't predict that. I don't think that'll happen, but a lot of that would ride on what happens with Superman. And I don't know. I mean, this could be the beginning of something really, really crazy. Kind of hard to say for now, but it would technically mean potentially new bosses in charge of DC, Warner, all of those sort of things, which at this point includes what, Dune, Harry Potter. Like, they've got some IP that they've done fairly well with in the last couple of years. I guess even Sinners, maybe Minecraft, right? So they got some juice, man, and we'll just see. Super shady business things going on. And potentially, I mean, I guess I wonder how Gunn would feel about this, you know? I mean, it's completely out of his control. I don't know if there's too much he can even do about it. But does this mean that there's like another layer now to the way this could all go bad? You know? And by the way, this is a DC problem. Warner Brothers has had this problem. They've had people come in and try to recalibrate how DC does their thing, et cetera, over the years. So we'll see. This could end up being pretty messy. The beginning of something really big. Yeah, so I guess we're just going to see. I don't think it's anything as crazy as like Disney would end up owning Warner Brothers, although that has actually been closer than you think a couple of times throughout history. But either way, I think it's potentially a big deal. It's connected to the stuff we're talking about with Superman, because I would say this. If Superman bombs, which again, I do not think it's going to, right? But it did cost them $400 million. So like, let's be real. They got to get to like 900 million to even break even, $1 billion to break even. If this thing really underperforms, oh my God, dude. Like, I think you get a sell-off. I think you get a merger, and then I think guns out. Like, I think that's just what it is. Especially because Zaz and them would basically not, the buck would no longer stop there, right? So we'll see, guys. That's the news. That's the report there. Anybody have any comments, thoughts, questions, any insight into this situation? Amazon takeover? I highly doubt it would be Amazon. I suppose it could be. You know, some of these things get tricky, right? So like Disney and Amazon, they probably wouldn't allow that. Like that seems like antitrust maybe. But Warner Brothers is like so... Like, Warner Brothers is just really not doing well. The IP is basically all they have. And so another company like Amazon might just say, hey, we need the IP to be able to fight in the future. A little bit like how Disney was able to massage the Fox acquisition. Because if you recall, one of the things Disney brought up was like, we're not in competition with the studios. We're in competition with Google and Facebook. And they were talking about like technology, theme park experiences, but also streaming. And so Disney's plea to the United States government when they approved the acquisition of the Fox assets had to do with sort of the uncertain future of how entertainment companies like Disney would have to adapt to competing against tech companies. Right? So, yeah, we'll just see. Because, again, the government could smash down any antitrust stuff. You know, you have a conservative administration in there, so they're probably less likely to do so. But it would depend. In some ways, conservatives are more antitrust than liberals. It just kind of depends, right? So, yeah, a lot of hoops that they would have to go through. And this is basically just confirming what a lot of people thought was going to happen. It does seem shady. I do think this could hurt the credit of the company, particularly the one that now holds all of the debt and no longer seemingly has all of the valuable assets. Again, unless I'm reading this completely wrong, that seems honestly illegal to me. Like, I don't even know how that's legal. But, man, if I could do it as a CEO, I absolutely would. That would be incredible. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets approved, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, we shall see, man. It's pretty wild. How much did they donate to the president? I mean, I don't know. How much did Elon donate? You know what I mean? Does that even really matter? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Stripped and sold for parts. I mean, it in a way, yes, that does feel like what this is. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think that's the running narrative. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking about. And by the way, Zaslav right now, very unpopular guy. 60% of the board members think he's overpaid. They did not sign for his new salary. Right? So, like, dude, there's like Game of Thrones shit going on over there, man. Like, he's the Mad King in some ways over there, you know? So we'll see. Universal is about to buy DC and then make Hulk versus Superman. Dude, Hulk versus Superman would slap. Hulk versus Superman would slap, man. That would be incredible. Apple should buy DC. I think, Apple is such an interesting company right now because, I mean, they have like all the money in the world. They have a ton of cash on hand, $1 trillion company, and they're making a bunch of shit. Like the Apple stuff is great. Like the TV shows, the movies. I like the Apple stuff a lot, but it doesn't make money. You know what I mean? Like they're not making money over there. And I don't know how much longer they can just spend that kind of money. But, man, Apple did spend a lot of money, and they have some incredible stuff. So, like, if Apple had DC, wow, dude. Wow. They'd drop some money, man. They would not be shy about dropping some money. So, yeah, that's kind of an interesting pick for sure. I wish Apple, I wish Apple would get DC, yeah. That's Amazon with Lord of the Rings. That's true, actually. So it doesn't always equal quality. And, of course, Rings of Power is a good example of that, for sure. I think every big tech company will be a legacy studio by 2040, or they'll have acquired them all. Yeah, that's probably fair. Amazon already owns MGM. No way they would approve for Warner's. But I mean, what is Warner's market cap? Like, I know it seems like Warner Brothers is this big, valuable, prestigious, over 100-year-old studio or whatever. But like, that sounds to me a little bit like Kodak. That sounds a little bit to me like Blockbuster. Like, dude, sometimes things just change, and people and companies get buried and disappear. That's just business. You know? Yep. Okay, guys. I think that'll do it for this one. A lot of mystery out of there. We'll see where it goes from here, but certainly some shocking news to add into the Warner Brothers confusion and the sort of questions around Superman and the performance that movie will have and what it means for Gunn and everybody else over there. So there you have it on that. Let's see here. The Bates Funny Farm says, are you excited about AI NPCs in the next gen video games? Yeah, I actually think it'll be incredible. I think it'll create a lot of novel experiences. Yeah, for sure. Joshua says, Signal is dog shit today. I'll catch you later. Nerve Vengeance for life. Appreciate you, brother. Aaliyah says, maybe it is the Pedro effect with FF. Apparently, The Last of Us ratings declined after his character appeared less, plus the Vanessa effect. Yeah, it could be. Could be. Yeah, I've heard some funny things about that show, Last of Us, man. It did have a decline, and I think its finale had a big decline. We'll see in the numbers, but sure, that could be Pedro. It could also be, like, I've heard they just made some pretty controversial picks, decisions, and I heard fans are just not loving some of that shit, boy or girl, you know what I'm saying? All right. So we've got a couple smaller Marvel stories here. Some fun rumors to speculate about, have fun with. First up, let's talk Thor 5. So Daniel RPK reported over the weekend, Thor 5 is in active development. Taika Waititi will not return for the next installment. Now, this is strange for a couple of different reasons. Number one, we actually heard about Thor 5 like a long time ago, and we knew it wasn't going to be Taika a long time ago. So that part of it doesn't seem new, but I would assume this means going from like non-active development into somewhat of active development. That's kind of interesting. You know, there's that guy that I think is pretty full of crap, that James Wangold Scooper guy, right? Because this guy basically said that at San Diego Comic-Con over the summer, they were going to announce all these missing movies, including Thor 5. And I wanted to believe that. And then after they delayed and pulled out of Hall H, I was like, this guy's a fucking liar. But I wonder if he wasn't a liar. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, right? Because this here from Daniel, strangely, kind of confirms that there's something happening behind the scenes at the studios that would indicate there is a switch into active development for Thor 5. Now, I believe Daniel said this would happen after Secret Wars. I'm pretty sure he said that. I'm not 100%. And Daniel's so vague and weird that it's like, even if he did say that, he could come out on Twitter the next day and be like, that's not what I meant, or whatever, right? So, you know, take it all with a grain of salt, understand where it's coming from. But because we have heard a lot of other people talk about Thor 5, like, dude, the world of real people were like, George Miller's going to do Thor 5. Do you remember when we talked about that? So a lot of possibilities here with Thor 5. I guess what I'm saying is I just wonder, one of two things is happening. Either Daniel has no new scoops and he's just recycling stuff from years ago, which absolutely could be real, or there is a switch into active development, which strangely lines up with some other rumors from less reliable people that we've spoken about recently. So this is actually kind of interesting to me. Now, the other reason this is weird is because Alex Perez had a scoop in the past couple of weeks that Thor was going to get a send-off, a death, a glorious warrior's end, probably in Secret Wars. Okay. Now, Alex said that, and a lot of people are like, oh, shit, so no Thor 5. And I remember at the time, I think My Time to Shine reported, yeah, he'll have a send-off, no more Thor after this. Then, within the same day, Shine came back and said, actually, no, I'm hearing Thor 5 is in development, so Thor will not meet his end in the Secret Wars movie. Now, I know we're it's like a telephone game. We're talking about this person said this, that, second, and third. But to be honest, that is a part of what we do here. Alex is hinting that Thor will die, but he'll probably still remain in the MCU because, of course, he would go to Valhalla, which is technically where Jane Foster is at right now. So maybe there's a chance for Thor 5 to involve Valhalla, to involve going into different realms, to involve him being resurrected, or maybe him as more of like an Obi-Wan Kenobi character or something. I'm not really sure. So that's kind of strange. But again, with Shine saying that Thor 5 was in development, with the World of Real reporting that, with that one random scooper guy reporting that, and now with Daniel reporting that, I mean, I think the main takeaway is like, dude, Thor 5's real. Which is so weird because, like, didn't Hemsworth just basically say goodbye to the character the other week? You know what I mean? Like, he's talking about, like, how the character's going to die. Well, he didn't really say that, but the implication was, like, he was saying goodbye. Right? So you can see why this whole situation and this whole thing here with Thor is strange and weird. I like Thor. I really didn't like Love and Thunder. I think the character of Thor is going to get a lot more shine and get some respect, get his skis back a little bit. I think he's going to get his balls back in the next 2 Avengers movies, and I think he's going to have some big moments. I low-key feel here, Chad, and maybe this is just fanboy dreaming, but I low-key feel that the Russos are going to fix all the things that they left as a problem. So, like Hulk, Thor, you know, some of the things they did to break some of these characters, I think they're going to put them back on the shelf in a better way, which is cool. They're the guys to do it too. Like, you know what I mean? Clean up the mess that you made kind of thing. And so I think Thor is going to get a lot more shine and be awesome in Secret Wars. Remember, there's that scene with Deadpool from Deadpool and Wolverine. Why is Thor crying? You know, and that's like going to be a thing I think that plays into the next part as well. But Hemsworth is awesome as Thor, and I would love a Thor 5. Okay, so I'm greedy, I'm selfish. I'm hoping that he gets some major screen time and some fun stuff in the next 2 movies. And then even if he does die or whatever, there's all sorts of ways via soft reboot, via Valhalla, via all sorts of comic book shenanigans. There are ways for Thor to come back, and I would like more Thor in the future. You know, Thor's a great character, I think, especially because you're doing a lot of X-Men stuff. I think you're going to be doing a lot of stuff with potentially like Annihilus, potentially the Eternals, the Deviants, the Celestials. We've heard a lot of cosmic shit is coming. Apocalypse, right? Thor plays beautifully within that whole world there. So I'm actually excited, although I do have to say it's a little bit vague and we're not sure. Everything that I just explained, I think, you know, I think that's all on point, and that's just kind of where we're at. However, we have a little additional piece here. This comes from Ryan Coogler over the last couple of days, speaking about Denzel Washington in Black Panther 3. Now, this is a big rumor out there. Denzel actually did publicly apologize for saying this, but it's already out there. And so this was Ryan Coogler on a podcast over the weekend. Let me kill the music here, and let's take a listen to what he said about Denzel Washington in Black Panther 3.
Denzel Washington, still a possibility to appear in Black Panther 3.
That's a big with it. Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Black Panther 3, I mean, has there been conversations? Have you been writing roles in for? Is there a role specifically that you have in mind for Denzel?
All of that, bro. All of the above. Denzel is family at this point. And I've been trying to work with him since
day one.
Yeah. I think he's the greatest living actor. And in terms of like what he means to our culture, forget about it, man.
Facts.
I've been talking to him about this for a long time. I was surprised that when he mentioned it, but it's not like it's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said a truthful thing.
You can't debate that.
Yeah. Like there's no lies there.
You can't debate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So it's real. That's good to hear, because, you know, I wasn't really sure, even with, because actors, man, I mean, first of all, they play pretend for a living. I mean, how many times have actors said they're not in the next Marvel movie and then they pop up or whatever, right? So it's hard with actors. Also, like a person like Denzel, it's like, how plugged in is he actually? Was this like a conversation he had offhandedly with Ryan? Because, you know, you would assume they'd be close, working in the industry, being prolific, you know, being 2 black dudes. Like, yeah, you would assume they have at least some communication. So it's like, when I first heard that, I was like, I wonder, like, is Denzel... Is he speaking out of turn a little bit? You know, like, is it, or was that real? Because there's one thing if Ryan said, like, I'm writing a part for you. And because that's kind of what Denzel initially said, right? But you could be writing a part for somebody, and then the movie doesn't get made. Maybe Marvel says no. Maybe Denzel doesn't think the money's right. All sorts of stuff, right? However, I think you look at the answer here from Ryan, and like, dude, it's about as real as it can get. And I think it's a big deal. I think it's going to happen. I love that he said he thinks that Denzel is the greatest living actor of all time. I don't agree with that. I think it's Daniel Day-Lewis. But, I mean, Denzel is a monster. He's in the conversation for sure, right? So this is cool. Now, what does this mean? Because, of course, we have rumors that Denzel could even be Magneto. Now, I will say that after a lot of the Magneto Denzel things came out, it did kind of feel like that was just a Jeff Snyder thing, and potentially just something that either he heard or, frankly, I mean, I don't know. I would have liked to assume that Jeff actually heard this, but I know for a fact, just because I follow Jeff's stuff pretty closely, he gets led astray a lot, and I think it's just because he doesn't understand nerd shit at all, right? Like, he's at this point reported that Sadie Sink is MJ, Mayday, a Gwen Stacy variant. I mean, what hasn't he reported as a rumor that she's going to be, right, in the film? So Jeff gets kind of led astray, I think, a little bit here. And it's also worth mentioning that after this popped off, because Black Magneto was a thing, dude. We talked about it here. It popped off on social media. It made major waves. A lot of the scoopers at that point started talking about Daniel Day-Lewis, which I frankly felt was like a way to sort of take control back in the narrative. And I don't know if Marvel works because I don't know about these scoopers. I think some of them potentially work with Marvel Studios, frankly. Some of them maybe don't. They have no relationship with the studio. They don't even like the studio. But I know that some of them do. And I kind of had this feeling that, like, the Daniel Day-Lewis story was almost put out there to sort of take the wind out of the sails of the Denzel story. Not to say that, like, Denzel couldn't be that, but if you're Marvel Studios, you have a different plan for Magneto and you have a different plan for Denzel. You probably don't want a lot of people either talking about, getting excited about, or arguing about Denzel as Magneto, right? So I almost took the Daniel Day thing to be like, oh, it's actually this. But you know what Daniel Day-Lewis and Denzel have in common is that they're both, like, prolific, incredible actors. So if Marvel is looking for a type that's not actually attached to race, but it's more just like, you got the skills, I would put Denzel and Daniel Day in the same category. So it's kind of interesting, right? It could actually all be connected and it could all be working. Now, my hope, right, and I don't know, I mean, I don't know how Ryan views this. I don't know how Denzel views this, but there are, like, great black characters from comics that, like, I feel if you have Denzel in the film, it is the opportunity to do justice to some of the best black characters from Marvel Comics that already exist. So I think one that popped into most of our minds would be Blue Marvel. I think Denzel as Blue Marvel could be, like, legendary. I think it would be incredible. He could play an older variant of T'Challa. Like, I truly think that would be incredible. Or like T'Chaka or something. That would be absolutely incredible. Even like a version of Bishop or something, which, you know, there were maybe rumors that Storm was going to be involved, that we have some mutant shit going on here. It seems like a lot of people at Marvel want Storm, like Ryan Reynolds wants Storm in the X-Force movie. You know, Storm's Storm's awesome, right? So, of course, you know, I would want Storm in my shit, frankly. So, you know, maybe there's something like that going on with Black Panther 3. A lot of mystery, a lot of curious things going out there. But I think my read on this is the Denzel thing is real. You know, the Denzel thing is real. It's, even though Ryan didn't, like, fully admit it, I kind of got the vibe that he picked a big role. He wrote a role specifically for Denzel, and I think he's fully aware of everything I just explained, right? And even more so. So these are just, you know, these are two kind of smaller rumors here, but they're fairly exciting stuff going on for Marvel in the future. It kind of seems like right now, of course, you've got FF coming out. I think it looks great. We'll see. You know, some people maybe not receptive. Marvel's at a sort of a low point. We'll see how the film does. It appears to be doing pretty well, but you never really know. But really and truly, Marvel, it's all about Doomsday. You know, they delayed this thing 7 months. The Russos are apparently going to go over a month longer on shooting than they originally thought. And this movie is the whole kit and caboodle. It needs to reestablish the trust. It needs to set up the new thing. It needs to be the part 1 to the part 2 of Secret Wars. It's the biggest deal in the entire world. And so that's where Marvel is at. But I actually think it's great to know that there are other people within the system that are looking ahead. You know, Coogler's looking ahead to Black Panther 3, which would obviously happen after these next two Avengers movies. You know, whether it's George Miller or whomever, people at Marvel are looking ahead at more Thor content. Black Panther with a Denzel character seems like a huge draw. Thor getting justice done, that seems good. Marvel really does still have a lot of fuel in the tank. They still have juice for all of the problems that they have and all of the decline that we've literally watched happen right in front of our eyes. I still think the future is bright, man. So just wanted to go over a couple of those rumors with you. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. What do you guys think, man? What do you think of the Denzel thing? What do you think of Thor 5? Would love to know your thoughts. What do you think, Chad? I'll go over a couple of the soupies here. Let's see here. Shockwave Lab says Thor 5. We will finally find out why Thor was crying. I would assume we find that out in Doomsday, or maybe Secret Wars. You know, I would assume that's where we find that out, but we'll see. Brutal the Bear says Unchained, full mounted Josh is back. Diamond streams forever. Nerd Vengeance for life. I think that's so. And Loki traverse hell to return to life like in the comic run. Ooh, dude, that would be a fun story. Him and Loki going through hell. Woo! I like it. King Thor. Dude, I would love it if they established Thor as like the new Odin. And he was just like in charge of Asgard. And then like he's not in a lot of the movies, but maybe for the big event films, they go to Asgard. He's there. Maybe he gets involved or something like that. That's what I would do. I thought it was the scene from Dark World with Thor crying over Loki's body. So that's how they built the scene. But canonically, it is not meant to be the same scene. It was literally the future. But that is how they made the scene, yeah. Kobe Johnson with a $10 hella says, love your work. Mad respect for keeping it real and embracing your Thanos. Fine, I'll do it myself moment. Keep the nerddom alive for the Emperor. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Yeah, and like I said, no hard feelings for any of the people. I genuinely like these people. I think they have good insight. We just see things differently, and I don't want to fight about it. You know, I just want to do things my way. And that is what works best for all of us. So, yeah, I feel good. I mean, honestly, man, like I feel so fucking good. I don't want to get too much into it. Maybe we'll talk more about Wednesday. Maybe we'll talk more on Friday. But it was like a big weight was lifted. You know, I woke up this morning, was like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can say whatever the fuck I want. And that's a good feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be successful, and I want to connect to my audience, and I want to give good, entertaining takes and content. But I want to do it my way. You know? What is an Ironheart? Is that a new Tony Stark show? Yeah, totally. That's what it is, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, not a Denzel fan. Don't want it anywhere near Wakanda. That's certainly a take. That is certainly a take. And you know what? I'm not going to hate you for it. I think it's crazy. But, yeah. All good. My boss hangs out with Denzel Washington. Yo, that's sick, dude. Tell him to check out Den of Nerds. Be like, Denzel, you should see this Den of Nerds guy, man. He's fucking awesome. He's awesome. I miss Morgan Stark. Yeah, Morgan was cool, man. I wonder if she'll pop up in the next two movies or whatever, you know? I don't know. I don't know. We need scoops. Yeah, we'll get some scoops, man. I think there's some scoops out there. We'll see. What the hell is this? Oh yeah, we got to talk about one more thing, one more big story here, and then I want to talk about gaming. Watch Space Marine 2. Fucking crazy. Thanks for putting me into Warhammer. Hey, no problem, man. Warhammer is the truth. It's the future. It's the light that guides our path. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. You guys should just wait. I've been cooking some Warhammer content that is going to make the hair on your arm stand up. I'm telling you. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. I've been in the lab, man. Like young Eminem selling CDs out of the trunk in Detroit. I'm hungry. You gotta be hungry. And I am. Braden Thompson has fallen asleep. God damn it, Braden. All right. Speaking of dope shit and Warhammer, let's talk about these updates for the MCU. This guy here, Den of Nerds, who, by the way, has a ton of viral tweets. His new account after getting banned has already 6,000 followers. This guy's so awesome. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. He just had a tweet pop off for like over 12 million views. Pretty crazy. So this guy, Josh, says, it's going to be the next Game of Thrones or MCU. Trust. I trust him. I don't know how you guys feel, but I trust him. What's he talking about? SFX Magazine. Henry Cavill is the executive producer behind Amazon's Warhammer. Whoa! Whoa! Wow, wow, wee, wow. Let's see what this is about here. Full transparency, I haven't read this article at all. It could be a rehash of what we talked about last week. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Here we go. 3 years after it was announced. Now let's stop for a second. It does seem like it's actually just rehashing the old comments. Shut your mouth and take it. 3 years. Yeah. Is that a long time? Yes. Is that a long time in Warhammer? No. That's about the time it takes to understand your first army. Cavill talks up his dream come true Warhammer series at Amazon. It's very complex IP, and that's what I love about it. Henry Cavill wants to do justice to the Warhammer 40K Amazon series, describing it as a dream come true in a new interview with Esquire. We've never talked about this before. Cavill opened up about his new position as executive producer on the Warhammer franchise. It's different from what I've done before, in the sense that I haven't had my hand on the tiller of things before. I never heard him say this. It's wonderful doing that. It is a tricky IP and a very complex IP, and that's what I love about it. The challenges that come with putting this on the page in a way that is doing justice to that complexity, that trickiness, and that nuance is a challenge I'm enjoying immensely. When it was first announced in 2022 that Amazon acquired the rights to Games Workshop tabletop game with Cavill attached as both lead and executive producer, the role that would see him bring the grand vision of Warhammer to life across various projects, including possible film and TV shows for 30 years. This is what he said on Instagram at the time. Listen up. Listen. Linda! It was first, for 30 years, I have dreamt of seeing a Warhammer universe in live action. Now, after 22 years of experience in the film industry, I finally feel that I have the skill set and experience to guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life, Cavill wrote on Instagram at the time. My God, I've never heard more beautiful words spoken before. I'm going to reread that. For 30 years, I have dreamt of seeing a Warhammer universe in live action. Now, after 22 years of experience in this industry, I finally feel that I have the skill set and experience to guide a Warhammer cinematic universe into life. It's like slam poetry. Since then, we've heard precious little concrete details about how Warhammer 40K will make a splash on our screen, save for a brief update from Cavill at the end of 2024. There, he revealed a starting point for the War WCU. Hell yeah, it'll catch on, I promise. I agree, WCU, we got it, let's go. Has been decided upon. Together, we've been sifting through the plethora of incredible characters and poring over the old tomes and text. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Our combined efforts have led us to a fantastic place to start our universe. Cavill, who frequently spends his time building PC set on Instagram. That's such a weird comment. I think he built one PC on a stream once. Okay, so completely new. We definitely haven't talked about this before. Henry Cavill updates for the Warhammer Cinematic Universe, man. Look, it's a big old chunky. It's a big old chunky IP, chat. Okay, the IP's chunky. So it's going to take time and shit, okay? We're all really excited. It's going to be dope. You're excited. I'm excited. Shut your mouth. All right. Cool. Any other thoughts, comments on Warhammer? Anybody got any questions about Warhammer? Have you ever heard of Warhammer? What would be good casting though for, honestly? I'm not sure what you mean. For Cavill? So I think Cavill has to play either Gilliman, who's one of the Primarchs, or he has to play Constantine Valdor, who was like the first custodian ever made. He's really, really an important figure. Or he would have to play maybe the Emperor himself, although I think that would be nuts. Yeah. Event Horizon is a great movie, and it has some similar vibes to Warhammer, but it is certainly not Warhammer. It is fun, though. That is a fun movie. I trust Cavill as an artist. He seems very passionate. Oh, yeah, certainly, man. And especially about this in particular. I mean, you guys could probably tell just in the way that, like, I have fallen in love with Warhammer. But a lot of people, man, when you fall in love with Warhammer, you fall in love with Warhammer, man. And I'm just so all in on it. And I'm enjoying it. And I'm enjoying, like, making content. And you'll see, you know what I mean? I think you'll get a sense of why it has such potential. Yeah, I think you'll get a sense for it for sure. Do you have to be a member to view the Nerdy News Rundown? No. It published to the regular Den of Nerds channel. Last week's didn't do great. I'm still trying to figure out like the packaging for it. Like what kind of thumbnail style should I do? What kind of titling style? I think it only has like 14,000 views or something right now. But also like I wasn't too mad about that because I thought it kind of looked like shit. And I want to get a new background for specifically that show. So they'll drop on Fridays from here on out, and this week should be much better. So look for it on Friday. Should wear a suit for NNR? I've thought about maybe putting a blazer on or something. Yeah, maybe I'll wear a suit jacket, a nice shirt, and then be naked from the waist down. You know, we'll see. But the stuff on the couch was perfect. I mean, it was. There was definitely stuff there. Because we're all sick of Star Wars and Marvel content, Warhammer is the truth. I mean, I actually believe that to a degree. You know, I think Marvel and Star Wars has certainly stumbled a lot lately. I think that they've fatigued their audiences. I think there's stuff going on with that, with those fandoms that not great. And yeah, I absolutely think that a lot of what Warhammer offers is kind of fresh in a sense, and I think it's going to activate a lot of nerds, man. I mean, Warhammer is kind of blowing up right now. I know a lot of you guys don't believe it, but it absolutely is. And it will continue to do so. So, yeah. Yeah. Luke on the couch with a bow tie. That would be kind of fun. I wonder if he would just bite it off, though, you know? Move the chair next time? Yeah, for sure. Unfix the Spider-Man poster? No. And that Spider-Man poster looks so nice. Warhammer YouTube views are certainly there. Oh, yeah, they're huge, man. Yeah, they're huge. I'm excited, man. I think literally by the end of this year, I will be getting more views and making more money off of my Warhammer channels than all of my other channels combined. Now, part of why is like, you know, Marvel interest is down a bit. I think as we get into Doomsday, it'll pick back up, hopefully. And part of it also has to do with like I've just learned a lot about content over the years. And so like when you make a new YouTube channel, if you know what you're doing, growth can be, I don't want to say easy, but like my Clips channel which I created like sometime last year or whatever, that Clips channel makes basically the same money as my main channel, and it has 10,000 subscribers. Okay, so I want to explain 10,000 subscribers versus 230,000 subscribers. But sometimes a new channel, when you start to like get it popping, it's in a season of growth, and you can just see like a lot of crazy stuff happen in the algorithm. And technically, the bigger a channel gets, the more that gets sort of closed down. It's kind of hard to explain. But basically, like, I think the Warhammer channels, especially because I'm really taking my time and like building those, I'm building this content and branding out like slowly but intelligently. They're gonna do some really big numbers for sure. But I'll also be here. You know what I mean? Like, I'll still be here. We'll still be doing a ton of stuff, guys. Like, I actually want to do more stuff than ever. And I want the ability to like turn around and just do whatever kind of stream I want. So I really think this is the move for us, for my brand, for my future. You know what I mean? So, yeah. RF Gaming Channel says, DM'd you on Twitter an article about FF main theme single dropping the other day. Great Giacchino quote from the FF and what it means to him. Oh, cool. Let me see. See if I can find it. Let's find this Giacchino quote here. Oh, yeah, this is pretty cool. He says, I first discovered the Fantastic Four as a kid when digging through a treasure trove of old comics at the Columbus Mart flea market in South Jersey. The moment I opened the first issue, I was captivated by the extraordinary family of superheroes who embodied the boundaries of optimism of the 1960s vision of tomorrow, a future full of scientific marvels and a belief that anything could be achieved with determination and heart. My 10-year-old self would be thrilled to know that I've now been given the opportunity to create a theme for that same family. I am hoping that it captures the same spirit of wonder and limitless potential. It does, dude. The theme is fucking nice. I really like the theme and the music created for FF. Thanks for sharing that, man. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's pretty chill. I think that's pretty cool. All right, you know what I want to do, guys? I want to do one more thing, and then I want to get out of here, okay? I want to watch a video about the handheld Xbox, and then we can get into a discussion about like gaming in general, because this handheld Xbox, man, this is interesting to me, dude. This is really interesting. You guys interested in this at all? Let's see here. Which video should we watch? Linus's Retro Game Corp. Dave 2D is only that his video is only 8. Maybe we watch that one, huh? Is it like a Steam Deck? A little bit. It has some unique things that I think are really cool, actually, from what I've seen. Let's try this one here. Let's try Dave 2D. Let me pause this Dungeons and Dragons music. What the hell? Handheld Xbox, what?
There have been rumors of Microsoft working on some secret Xbox handheld with Asus. And it's actually the first handheld ever to carry the Xbox branding. And this is unlike any Windows handheld that has come before it. So this is the ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X. And on these devices, the Xbox team worked with Asus to tune the operating system. We've never seen that kind of control before. The device doesn't even boot into a typical Windows desktop environment. It loads into a full screen Xbox UI. And in the background...
So some of the things I heard about this, it helps performance, it helps battery life. And from what I understand, the Xbox team and the Microsoft team actually went in and wrote code and really worked with the, what did he say, the Asus team to make it quite different than a lot of the other handheld devices that run on Windows. This technically runs on Windows, but it is a sort of, I don't even know what you would call it, but it's like a root boot that's different. Like it boots right into a sort of streamlined Microsoft gaming, Xbox gaming, like UI, and also just that's just much better for like the actual device. So kind of interesting.
There's no Windows desktop, there's no desktop icons, there's no taskbar. All of the non-essential tasks aren't even loaded. It's just the most bare minimum initialization to be able to get games running. And the result is a significant reduction in background load. So Microsoft claims that they have a reduced memory requirement of 2 gigs that can be allocated to games instead. And all like the CPU cycles that are spent keeping those processes active.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's so wasteful the way that Windows typically loads. And also with these optimizations, they're claiming this, that the standby state is 3 times as energy efficient as a typical Windows boot. So
that's crazy.
In comparison to a regular Windows boot up, this new optimized version without all the bloat loaded up front uses 1/3 the energy in standby compared to regular, which is crazy. When I heard that number, I was like, this is why Windows is so bad for handheld games.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty clear. This isn't just a new handheld with a fancy launcher. They've gone into the...
By the way, from what I understand, you can actually boot all of those Windows processes. You would just have to like get to it from what it initially launches as sort of the streamlined way to do it. So it technically still is running on Windows, so you can get to all of that Windows stuff still, and then obviously the processing power would go up.
Operating system to shape it so it feels and performs more like a typical console. Now, the timing of this announcement feels a little... It's too convenient because this is coming off the tail of the Switch 2 sales launch and also like the public launch of SteamOS. I think at this point Microsoft understands the pressure that like the gamers are putting on them to put out something that isn't awful, and I think this has a lot of potential. Now, at the Xbox event, I was able to check out the UI and get a feel for the gameplay, but we were not allowed to record any of that stuff. Understandably so, because it's so early on in the development cycle, but they did supply us with some pictures, so with some video editing, I can give you a rough demo of what it looked like.
Cool.
The interface was really smooth, almost too smooth. Like it almost felt like it could just be like a sandbox demo of just icons and UI elements. Like it wasn't actually functional. It seemed like it was. I was clicking around and doing things and it was like reacting to it, but it just felt strangely smooth for a Windows device.
Interesting.
The Xbox button brings you to the interface home, and you can also switch between apps. Like you can be in a game and then swap out to a different launcher or switch to Discord. Basically, you can do the equivalent of alt-tabbing between apps. You retain that functionality.
That's nice.
The centerpiece of the UI, though, is their new gaming library, which gives you access to all of the games that you can run on Windows. So like Xbox, Game Pass,
Steam.
Battle.net, Steam. Basically, all of the major game libraries out there. They didn't specifically say Steam, but they implied it.
Yep.
And all of these games would appear on a list, and there's a little icon that indicates which game library it came from. And it'll also sync the save state for Xbox Play Anywhere titles. But because this is so early on in the development, I had a lot of questions for them, and they didn't have a lot of definitive answers. I asked them, like, let's say you do want to go into desktop mode for whatever reason. You want to, install an update, or you want to install a program. You have to go into the Windows desktop. So let's say you do all that stuff and then you leave desktop mode to go back into your games. I asked them, does it all uninstall out? And they didn't have an answer for that. And also, I asked them about like the sleep-wake functionality and the resume, because this is a very big weakness when it comes to Windows handhelds. It's a high priority for them and they're working on it, but they didn't have any definitive answers for like numbers or any kind of factual information. There were indications that Microsoft was planning on extending this modified OS beyond just the...
So from what I understand, they claim to be able to potentially even make it more efficient. They're like, this is just the beginning and we can make it even more efficient. And I think what he was referring to there was like, you can get into like the actual Windows root. But when you do that, there's a sort of question of like, when you then go back into streamlined gaming, are you still operating at that like optimized processing? And it kind of feels like probably not.
Xbox Ally systems, right? It seemed like they were trying to go for a bigger audience at some point, like more device support and things like that. All of this was like, we might be. There was never any kind of definitive answers. But the one thing that they did indicate with certainty was that they are working to at least identify the games out there that work well with these systems and work well with the ecosystem, as well as potentially working with developers to tune and just optimize games for this ecosystem. All right, let's talk about the hardware. So there's 2 models. There's an RG Xbox Ally, the white one, and an RG Xbox Ally X, the black one. The X variant is the more powerful one. It's running the Ryzen Z2 Extreme chip, and this one's aimed at 900 to 1080p gaming. The white one, the regular Ally, has the less powerful but more budget-friendly Z2A chip, and this is aimed at 720p gaming. Now, in terms of relative performance, the Z2 Extreme rumors estimate to be like 10, maybe 15% faster than a Z1 Extreme. The Z2A chip, though, is noticeably slower. It's rumored to be very similar to the Aerith chip that we saw on the Steam Deck, and that's like a 3 or 4-year-old chip.
Yeah, it's like a 4-year-old chip. Yeah.
But Microsoft,
yeah, so they're technically both, you know, for this current gen tech, but like from what I understand, the white model is going to operate noticeably not as good. So
Microsoft did say that they worked with AMD to optimize that chip in that 15 to 20 watt range to get better performance, but it is positioned as the entry point to this product stack. So the regular ROG Xbox...
You're saying Superman tickets drop today? What? Is that real? Chat, is that true?
The white one has less RAM, slower RAM, a smaller battery, and the USB-C ports are both USB 3.2. There's no USB 4 or Thunderbolt 4 connectivity for the white one, only the black X model has it. Also, the X model has impulse triggers up top, which are basically like haptics for the triggers. Both of these devices have the same screen. They share the same 1080p panel, which is actually the same screen that was used on the original ROG Ally. It's a good screen, but it's starting to show its age. The external dimensions are identical between them, but the white one is lighter. I'm assuming it's lighter because it's got a smaller battery and maybe the thermal system doesn't have to be as chonky because it's not as hot of a chip, but it isn't thinner. These are both very thick devices, thicker than basically every other modern handheld.
Wow.
Now, a big thank you to Linus, who brought a huge stash of handhelds to be able to compare the sizes and dimensions of. So without him, I wouldn't be able to show you this, but that ROG Xbox Ally is thick. Now, the more powerful one, the X variant, or the black one, is 715 grams. It's heavier than the previous generation Ally X, but it doesn't feel super heavy when you're playing on it. The weight seems to be nicely distributed because of the grips. So we got to talk about these grips. When I first saw leaked photos of this thing, I thought it looked super ugly because of those grips. But having spent a little bit of time with the real device, it's definitely grown on me. I think a lot of it has to do with like the matte finish instead. Like it just looks a lot better with the matte finish.
Sure.
Also, there's like a micro texture of like text that reads ROG and Xbox on it. I think it looks pretty
that's kind of cool, yeah.
But in terms of the ergonomics, I thought it would feel awesome because they're basing it off of a controller, but it's not what I expected. So it doesn't feel like an Xbox controller. It feels like a controller, but if you compare the way that they flare out and just the general shape, they are not all that similar. The steeper angle on the Xbox controller makes sense because that's just how your hands come together when you are playing on a controller like that. And then it's like a wider stance and kind of like a straighter angle when you're playing on a handheld. But it's just, if you're expecting them to feel similar because of the Xbox branding, I don't think they do. If anything, I'd argue that the Steam Deck still feels the most comfortable to me. It is a lighter device, so the ergonomics feel and balance differently, but that feels like a 9 out of 10 for comfort to me. The ROG Xbox Allies, those feel like maybe 8. And then the previous Ally X, so the previous gen, this thing feels like, I'd say 7.5. And then the one before that, like the first Ally, was probably like a 6.5. Now, comfort is very subjective, and the weight of these devices has a big impact on how they feel in hand.
Sure.
But I thought I'd go through this because I think for a lot of people looking at this like weird grip shape on the side, they're just curious about it, and I thought I'd share some experiences. One last thought. The battery on the ROG Ally X is the previous generation. This ran across the whole thing, right? It's like a rectangular shaped battery that fits very nicely and snugly in a fairly rectangular shaped case. On the new one, because of those grips, it's not as space efficient. Like you can't stick batteries into those side things. I mean, you could, but I don't think they are. And so you just have, I'm sure there's haptics and stuff in there, but it's just less space efficient when you have the grips. I'm just saying, it's another negative to having grips like that. Okay, very cool device in terms of the software. I think the idea of it is amazing, and I also think the ability for the technology, like the OS technology, to trickle out to more devices and configurations, I think it would change the gaming world for the better. And isn't that something we all want, to just have cleaner and leaner operating systems for our devices? I hope Microsoft does it.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, there's some rumors out there that this is a precursor to another version of this that's going to come out probably within the next couple of years that will be like an actual Microsoft created device, like maybe a Windows device that is Xbox branded as well. One thing he didn't mention there too is that the screen is slightly angled, and that's just for like comfort and for less neck strain or something like that. And apparently it actually works pretty well. But I don't know, man. I mean, dude, that seems really cool to me. And especially with like Xbox and what they're doing with like Game Pass and the ability to have Steam on here, the ability to have your PC Game Pass and your, you know, console Game Pass all there connected. New Gears of War on the way, new Ninja Gaiden on the way. Like, dude, I'm not saying Xbox is back, but Xbox is finally doing stuff, and I am excited about it. I personally think too, because they had Xbox over the weekend, the Xbox Game Showcase or something like that. I think because they're bringing Gears to PlayStation, and they really don't want to do exclusives anymore. I think that they want to be kind of like the Netflix of gaming in a lot of ways, which you've seen their evolution of that happen over the past like 5 years. If we get a new Halo, which I think we will, if we get a new Halo and it's cross-platform, I can play it on the Xbox handheld, and it's really good, really fun, really customizable, and everybody's like into it, dude. That's a really cool outcome. So I know people have mixed feelings about what Xbox is currently doing, you know, what the future of gaming is, etc. But dude, I think I'm gonna get one of these Johns. Now they don't come out until probably holiday season this year. We don't know the price, so that could obviously be a factor as well. But I think I'm going to cop one of these, man, later in the year, even just to play some of my Steam games and whatnot. I think it would be really, really chill. So I just wanted to bring that up there and see what you guys think about that. What are your thoughts, guys? Any thoughts on the old Xbox handheld thing? How much for the X version? I mean, I don't know, bro. I think the big boy is probably gonna be like $700-800. I think the smaller one will probably be priced closer to like 500 mil. Yeah, I know. Halo desperately needs a W. 100%, man. 100%. You know what would really help too? And I don't know if they're planning this, but like a new Halo show or a movie. Like give it the Fallout treatment and then have a new Halo game. Phew, dude. Like they'd be cooking with gas if that was the plan. Yeah, dude. Halo TV show so bad. Ugh. Splitgate greater than Halo. You know, that Splitgate BR looked really cool, but I don't know, man. I saw some people talking about it over the weekend and saying they were having trouble getting games. There wasn't too many people playing it. I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. Because I think Splitgate's awesome. Like, I played the first one. It looks really cool. Or it was really cool. And the BR looks really cool. But I have not checked it out, so. I don't know. Maybe I'll get on there. Yeah, we'll see. Do you still need a console to run most of the games on it, though? I'm not really sure what you mean. What do you mean by that? It's going to flop. What's going to flop? You still need a console to run most of the games on it. You mean the handheld? No, it's its own device. How did Switch 2 release without a new Zelda game or something? Yeah, it is pretty crazy. But people are going nuts for that Mario Kart game. But dude, like I saw some videos. You look at Mario Kart Infinite, the graphics literally look better than Mario Kart World. I think Nintendo fans have got to be like the most like, thank you, may I have another group of people on the planet, dude. I feel like Nintendo fans have been mostly just ripped off for the past 30 years. It's worse than Madden and COD at this point. Crazy. Yep. Yeah, yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. But you know what? A lot of people seem to be enjoying it. $80 for a game that doesn't even look good as one from like 6 years ago. But you know what? If you're enjoying it, who am I to yuck your yum? You know what I mean? Who am I to ruin your day? No, if you like it, if you enjoy it, God bless, man. God bless. Have a good-ass time there, you know? All right, chat. I'm probably going to get out of here in a second. Any other last-minute comments, questions, concerns? What's on your mind? What are you guys thinking about? What the hell? What the hell is even that? What the hell is even that? Nah, I'll do it, Josh. That shit sucks. I don't know what you mean. Oh, the Microsoft John? Or the Nintendo John? Yeah, it does. When are you going to stream a game of Warhammer with Moist Critical? Whenever he wants. Charlie hits me up any goddamn time, night or day, man. I'll figure it out. But I am going to whoop that ass. You know what I mean? I'm probably not going to go easy on him, so, you know, just let him know. Glad the old format is back. Looking forward to the streams much more now. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think it's going to just be... I mean, it's one of those things that probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people that are in, like, more traditional media or whatever, but I think this is the future, man. I think this is the future. Like, I know it seems weird, but I think this is the future, and this is the currency that I have with my audience, and this is something that I want to lean into. Verse, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers at the prime level, baby. Oh, hell yeah. What's the howling butt? I don't know what that means. Nixon 5? I don't know what that means. Aren't the Knicks gone? Didn't they lose? I would go PC if there wasn't a financial barrier to entry. I'm going to drop $500 to get the first console on the market. PS5, you drop $500 on the PC market, it's not even proportional. Yeah, facts. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think once you have a good PC, you're like, oh yeah, this is what I want forever. But yeah, it's absolutely fair that it's quite the cost up front. What's your favorite Halo and least favorite Halo? Favorite Halo is probably 3. Love 2. Love Reach, but 3, man. 3 was... I was a wizard. I was a surgeon with grenades in 3. I could do things with a grenade that would just shock and awe. You'd be like, is that even... Are you hacking? And I'm like, no, I'm not hacking. I'm just that good, bro. Like some fucking Happy Gilmore in his prime shit, man. Bouncing off people. It was just crazy. It was crazy. Least favorite Halo? Probably Infinite, which is crazy because the gameplay is butter. Infinite's gameplay is smooth. But content, campaign, lack of fucking content, lack of customization. Halo Infinite ended up being a big L. Which is crazy. Because the gameplay's so smooth. I had so much fun playing it. Yeah. Save another $1,000 not needing to pay for online like PS and Xbox. Save another $1,000 not needing to pay for online like PS and Xbox. I'm not sure what point you're trying to make there. It's a lot better now, to be fair. Yeah, with like Forge and some of that stuff, for sure. It's better now, yeah. I've seen you play games, and I'm not finding it hard to believe anyone, and I'm finding it hard to believe anybody said you're hacking. Yeah, I know, but you're just gonna have to trust me, dude. It was crazy. I actually, like, I'm not even kidding, and I know a lot of you guys won't believe this, but just like with Akuma, you know, Cyber Akuma, I actually played an actual professional Halo player. Literally, dude, he was showing me his checks that he got from like fucking Doritos and shit, and I played him 1v1 on what was the level? It has the circle in the middle. It's got the one John with the porter on the side. It has the run underneath. There's usually a hammer in the center underneath. There was a sniper on the one side, a shotgun below. What's that level called? I lost to this dude 8-10, but I was like up on him 6-1. So that's how good I was at Halo 3. Of course, I was a lot younger, but I was good, bruh. I was good. I forget. No, I don't think it's that map. It was like there was that green area that you could like port up to where the sniper was at. And it had like the big orange lift, and there were two like little side areas you could go down on either side of the orange lift. There was a shotgun down there, a hammer in the center. I think they remade it for a couple of the versions. Lockout. I love that level, bruh. I love that level. So yeah, I could boogie in Halo, man. But that was just like my game. That was just the game that I played the shit out of the most. But I mean, would I be able to do that nowadays? Absolutely. I'm going pro when the next Halo game comes out. You heard it here. You heard it here. I'm going pro in the next Halo game, man. Let's go. Let's go. Do y'all remember the super jumps in Halo 2? The Zanzibar one where you could you had to like creep on that one ledge and then do that perfect jump while you're crouched and then it would shoot you up and then you'd like snipe from down below. Oh hell yeah, dude. I knew all the tricks, all the little secrets, man. People would be so mad. Rocket jumps were really cool too. Warlock is the level you're thinking of? Oh, okay. Yeah. Those were the days. Halo BR would have been incredible. Sad. Yeah, but maybe it'll come out. Maybe that's what they're cooking, man, you know? Because I think Halo needs a revamp. Infinite is not it. And I think they might do a cross-platform one. So wouldn't that be cool? Little Halo BR cross-platform. Let's go. A $1 million contract? Thanks, Big Chungus. I totally believe it, and I think it's absolutely real. Do you need my bank account and social security number? Just hit me up. I'll give it all to you. Blood Gulch had an invisible wall that you could get behind? Yeah, dude. Blood Gulch had all kinds of crazy shit. Oh, my God, dude. Loading up a LAN party game on Blood Gulch. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it, man. Those were the days. New Ironheart trailer dropped. Okay, that's cool. Was it good? Did you like it? Send over the bank account info. Done. Yeah. Well, you know what's funny, Justin, is like we know they were developing it, right? And then they killed the team that was working on it. So they were legit working on it. Red vs. Blue. Dude, I loved Red vs. Blue. One of my favorite lines ever from Red vs. Blue was when the one guy said, "It smells like a skunk is juggling dead hamsters in here." And it was when they find the alien homie on Zanzibar, actually. I forget what was going on in those episodes, but yeah, man. Red vs. Blue was the shit. Blinkers on stream. Let's not get crazy. Maybe someday. Let's not get crazy, though, you know? It's still a goddamn family show. You understand? Did you finish Mobland? I did, and it's incredible. I love Mobland. Mobland's so good. Mobland's so good, man. I think I'm going to try Landman next. All these shows with land in the title seem to be really good. Yeah, man. All these shows with land. It's kind of crazy. And also, too, guys, I watched, I haven't finished it, but I watched some of that Predator animated, John. Woo! That shit's dope. Oh, my. I love that. I got to finish it still, but, dude, that thing was dope, man. Yeah, that Predator shit was fire. Land Before Time for Liam. Get him a T-star. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Will you actually watch Alien Earth? I think so, actually. So, you guys know I don't like horror, right? But for whatever reason, I've always liked the Alien and the Predator movies, and I've seen most of them. So I don't like horror, but I kind of like white knuckle it through Alien because I love sci-fi. And I love Noah Hawley. So I think Noah Hawley is brilliant. And I think Legion is a masterpiece. One of the best Marvel shows ever made. One of my favorite shows ever. So, yeah, I think I'm going to try Alien Earth. And just the other day, because we were watching the Predator thing, I was explaining to Elisa, I was like, yeah, the Predator and Alien, they exist in the same universe, right? Like, they've actually had movies where they fight together and shit. And she was like, oh, what? That's so crazy. We still need to watch the Alien movie, but you don't want to watch it because it's too scary. And I was like, yeah, it is, but Alien Earth's coming out, so maybe we'll watch it. So maybe me and the wife will watch Alien. I'll sort of white knuckle it through that. I think Alien 2 is a little less scary, although it has some scary parts. It's more of an action movie. And then Alien 3 is crazy. Man, Alien 3, man, they really fucked that up. David Fincher, I don't know that guy, but he'll never work in that town again. David Fincher, yeah, good luck with a career, bud. First big movie, Alien 3. Yeah, you fucked up. Go see Ballerina. It's amazing. Is it amazing? I mean, that kind of feels like a streaming one for me. I tell you what, I don't know if you guys will like this or not, but real talk, I am trying to go see How to Train Your Dragon in the theater. I like dragons. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for big dragons in live action, man. I want to see the fucking dragons. Yeah, man. So I'm hoping to be able to go. Our sitter is here like today, I think, which obviously the movie's not out. So we're gonna try to get a different babysitter, or maybe we can get Grandpa to watch the kids, because I want to go watch the dragon movie with the wife. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Drag on these nuts. Oh, good one, Jonathan. So good. It's a goddamn family show. Thanks, though. It's out in Europe, and it was amazing. Oh, it's out in Europe? I don't want it then. Just watch the animated. Won't it be the exact same? What a fucking Trev thing to say. By the way, Trev, you know what I found out the other day that really fucked me up, dude? And now I'm kind of blanking on what it is. Oh, here it is. Now I remember. This really fucked me up, Trev. All right? I found out that Hawaiian pizza, which is pineapple on pizza, invented by a Canadian. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, Ethan says with a 10 spot, hey, that's very generous, man. Thank you. Says, hey, Josh, I don't know if anyone has asked you yet, but are you excited about Batman/Deadpool crossover comic coming in September? Also, have you been keeping up with Absolute Batman? I have not been keeping up with Absolute Batman, but I'm hoping to catch up this week. I read, I think, the first two. I loved it. I love what they're doing. I like Scott Snyder a lot. It's awesome, man. I was actually talking to some people about it when I was in New York, so that's really cool. I'll try to catch up on that. Batman Deadpool is going to be fucking incredible. First of all, Grant Morrison's back. Get the fuck out of here. But the talent all around him is incredible. They're doing two. I'm not the hugest Zeb Wells fans, to be honest here, but I think it'll be good. I think he'll be good on this book, particularly. So yeah, Deadpool, Batman, dude, that shit's gonna be hype. When I was in New York, there was a dude, I was a bartender when I was out one of the nights, and yeah, he was a big nerd. I think I had a Deadpool shirt on or something, and we were talking about it. He didn't know about the Batman Deadpool comic. I was like, bro, you need to go pre-order this now, because like I think for comic book fans, this is magic. I'm not even the biggest Deadpool fan, but him with Bruce Wayne, that's great. Like, that is going to be great, man. So I'm pretty excited to see that together for sure. I think it's going to be good. Deadpool's Canadian, Wolverine's Canadian. I know, and I try not to hold it against them, How the fuck is maple syrup overhyped? I mean, it isn't. I'm sorry. Maple syrup's great. Maple syrup is fucking great, dude. Get out of here. Canadian bacon's also great. I mean, yes. Is it just ham? Yes. Canada's got some good shit. You know what I mean? Canada's got some good shit. But they're also just, I mean, it's like they haven't moved out of their mom's house. You know what I mean? They got the Queen on their money. It just makes me a little uncomfortable because the only thing I like less than Canada is Britain. Which is so ironic because, like, Warhammer is so fucking British. And yet it's my favorite thing ever. That's a tough one, man. I'm going to go to therapy about that later. Stop shitting on culture. I'm not shitting on anything. I'm not shitting on anything. What are you talking about, dude? It's fine. You do have the queen on your money. You know, like, I'm trying to be fair here. Paul loves you now. Oh, I love Paul, man. Paul's good people. Paul's good people. I might even cross the pond just to hang out with Paul a little bit. But I don't want to see any of the fancy shit. You know what, though? I will say this. I told my wife this, too. Mobland is the first piece of content ever that actually made me want to visit London. I'm not even capping. I'm dead ass because of all the affluent places they show in Mobland. I was like, dude, London's kind of got some style. London's got some hot spots. You know? Because, like, in my opinion, history started in 1776. Everything before that was a mistake. You know? So it's like, it's tough, man. It's tough to appreciate, you know, the British. But, yeah. The weather is shit, though. Fair. What do I think of the 2027 conspiracy? Well, I sure hope it's not just a way to justify Palantir collecting all of our information. Hope it's not real. If it is, though, it's been a good run. You know? What are the other couple movies or shows you've been looking forward to in the most this year? The next Avatar movie. Love them Avatar movies, man, you know? Love them Avatar movies. I want to watch the How to Train Your Dragon movie. I want to watch the Fantastic Four. I want to watch Superman. Shows. Probably like Alien Earth. What other big shows come out? I mean, I'm kind of interested in Gen V. Yeah, I don't know. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Nano Wee Woo. What a name. Says, Josh, do you think the Fantastic Four meme in Marvel Rivals is helping Fantastic movies sell more tickets? Love the streams. I would not be surprised if the popularity of not only Rivals, but especially Sue Storm and the Fantastic Four within Rivals, I would not be surprised if that's having a positive effect on the box office for the Fantastic Four. I would not be surprised. In the same way that the Superman Fortnite thing is having a positive effect. I think it's real. Yeah. I'm not saying it's Warhammer, but it's Warhammer. I mean, Warhammer, I think, is a far ways out. But yes, of course. Yes. Josh, you'll like Peacemaker? Doubt it. Oh, yeah? That's too bad about Rick and Morty, man. That's too bad about that. What a great show when it was first out, huh? New year, new Josh, now that he's free. Indeed, indeed. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to call it there. I'm going to get on out of here. We'll be back at it tomorrow at 11, and we're streaming. It's not a show. It's a stream. So we'll be streaming tomorrow. I don't know what we'll be doing, but we'll be getting into some shenanigans. That's for sure. Make sure you check out the Deadpool VR video that I'm going to drop on the channel probably in an hour or so here, maybe a little bit longer. I really enjoyed the Deadpool VR. If you want to hear me talk about gaming and yap a little bit about my experience, check that out. And other than that, we'll be back at it tomorrow. I'm cooking up a bunch of content. And yeah, Wednesday night, we'll do a member stream. Friday night, we'll do a Diamond Lounge. And Sunday morning, we'll do a Prime stream. That's a lot of streams. Y'all are getting a lot of streams. So just chill out. Chill your tits. Stormy with a 5 spot. Hey, long time no see, brother. Is that you in your picture there? You're getting some muscles, huh? Hell yeah, brother. Says, hey, Josh, long time no see. Back as a nerd Avenger in time for F4. Last 2 years, I've been really low on Marvel. Glad to see them make a redemption. Me too, brother. I think we're heading in the right direction. I think FF is going to be really fun. And then it's really all about Spider-Man 4 and Doomsday. So, hey, Stormy, remember when you got mad at me for not loving some of the early Phase 4 content? I forget when it happened exactly, but it could have been Eternals. It could have been, I don't remember. But yeah, there was a time where like, and I get it, man. We all had to kind of come to it our own way. But there was a time where I started to see it go in a bad way, maybe before some of you guys. And some of y'all got mad at me. And then I became more of a hater than you, LOL. Yeah, I think that happened with a lot of people. I hope Marvel understands that. You know, I hope Marvel has some idea of what happened. And I think they do, but like, dude, I had a front row seat. You know, it's the content creation game is a wild job. And it was fascinating that like the majority of my content and my growth was from Marvel. So I just like saw it coming, you know, in a way that I think others didn't. And then a lot of people like Stormy that were initially upset with me ended up taking it even further than I did. And they were like, But I think we're turning it around. I think we are on a better path now. So that's all we can ask for. It's good to see you, brother. Welcome back, man. All right, everybody. Much love, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being here. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? It's kind of a sad song. The fuck, man? Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh, all right. Oh, all right. We're going to be just fine, chat. You know what I mean? We're going to be just fine. And I have plans upon plans. And now I am back in the driver's seat. It's going to be good. Oh, you guys want an Eagle song? I have to find it. Hang on. Where the hell? I don't even remember. Where the fuck? Oh, man. Where's it even at? Shit, where I don't even know where the fuck it is. Okay, here we go. All right, everybody. Play you out on this. Play you out on this. Much love. Appreciate y'all, man. We're going to keep it moving. Do me a favor on your way out. Just open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butthole.